got some con. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, your post-game edition after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers in ugly fashion, because a win is a win. The three-time NFC South champion. So how do we start off this show? You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Want to talk to you Bucs fans out there. Open phone lines. I want to get to it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the playoffs, as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won the NFC South 3 times in a row. I get it. It was an ugly win, but a win is a win is a win. And it didn't look like Baker Mayfield was necessarily healthy in this game, did it? So a lot of things to get to, but let's just put it out there, right? Screw the Pro Bowl, because Antoine Winfield Jr. is the man on the spot, period. And it's been like that all year long for this young man. Which, by the way, Winfield on line 2, Jason Line, he needs an extension. Pronto. Because 2 of the biggest plays in the game. Because it looks like the Panthers are going to go up 7-6. And Bucs fans, I've got people texting me saying, oh no, here we go. The Bucs are going to lose to the Panthers on this single-handed play. This single play in itself. That's how bad the offense was today. I get that. 42 yards to DJ Chark. Bryce Young escapes pressure. Throws the ball down to Chark there. Looks like he's going to score a touchdown. And Antoine Winfield Jr. doesn't give up on the play. It's been like this all year long. It's not the first time, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, national media, it ain't the first time he's done it. He's done it all year long. With another forced fumble. With another sack today. Which, by the way, is another big play. which basically causes the Panthers to miss the field goal. It takes them out of field goal range. These are the type of plays that you not only say, Winfield Jr. is a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro, but possibly a Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, by the way, Winfield Jr. had a hell of a day and has had a hell of a year because he surpasses John Lynch for tackles for a defensive back. Surpasses him. That's the type of year he's had. Amazing in itself. The defense stepped up today. I've been very critical of this defense. You can't be. There's no way you can be critical of this defense. They played their asses off. They picked up the slack. Baker, a gutty performance, but certainly looked like he was either ineffective, largely ineffective. There's no certain about it. He was largely ineffective, dealing with ribs, dealing with an ankle. So the defense had to save the day, and they did with 2 turnovers. Oh, by the way, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, nice to meet you, and thanks a lot for showing up there with a big-time fumble where Greg Gaines gets the fumble recovery. So lots to talk about with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. Let's talk with you. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. For the game, Baker Mayfield, 20 for 32, 137. He could have had at least 3 to 5 interceptions in the first half, whether it was pressure, whether it was ill-advised throws. I don't know what it was today, but it wasn't there, and he wasn't it. Although I will say before I go out to the phone lines, a big-time gutty third down conversion on 3rd and 5, getting 6 yards, limping on an ankle. That's been Baker Mayfield this year. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Your Bucs are in the playoffs. Go.
What's up, Pete? It's Edison from Iowa. How you guys doing?
I am doing great, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, we won the South. That's awesome. I can't, complain about that. We're in the playoffs. But, man, was that an ugly, ugly win. The offense just, hopefully it's because, Baker Mayfield was unhealthy. Because if we go into the playoffs playing like that, it won't be good.
Yeah.
That was just, we're basically limping into the playoffs, man. And it's not nice to look at,
Well, it's not nice to look at, and you're exactly right. And I felt good about it. You had to feel good about that first drive because they come out and you don't run the ball on first down, you complete passes, but for some unknown reason, and the reason is you're not accurate enough when it comes to Baker Mayfield. And that has been the story here for today, and it's been the story the last couple of weeks where this offense has absolutely struggled. And whether, again, it's injury, whether it's being ineffective, but I also think it's, and I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and let you speak on this because I'm going to get back to this point in a moment when it comes to Kyle Trask, because I know there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that were just crying and calling for Kyle Trask to come into this game, and the Bucs decided to go with Baker Mayfield. And I think that's a clear indication of some things going on with this team. I'll just say that. Go ahead, Edison.
Well, as far as that goes, if this is what the franchise, because I've been hearing reports about Baker Mayfield getting an extension and he's going to be here next year.
Yeah.
If this is what the franchise wants as far as like for the future, just a mediocre type of offense, a mediocre just type of play all around. Like I don't want it, but we'll see what happens going forward. Hopefully we pick up some steam and we wake up as an offense, because we're lackluster all around, and we don't scare anybody. It's
well,
we're not putting any fear into anybody.
I tell you right now, I tell you who scares you. The defense scares you because they had an opportunity to get some turnovers today. Winfield Jr. played out of his mind, as I talked about. But if this defense can continue to play like this, even though your offense is struggling, that can help you out. Now, you hope that this offense can come out of it. Some bright spots in this game. Chris Godwin, with 6 catches for 51 yards, goes over 1,000 yards for the season. But, overall, they had some missed opportunities in that first half with Mike Evans. you have to make that throw. It's not a good throw, and that kind of leads me to believe that maybe your ribs are not necessarily healthy because you got to step into it. You got to make that throw, and then, furthermore, I feel like Evans should have caught the ball. It's almost like deja vu going back to the Panther game.
Because he dropped one earlier this season, and he dropped because that ball hit him in the hands.
It did,
regardless
but I tell you
of the pass not being on point. That ball, he dropped that pass.
Correct, but I believe if Baker Mayfield, puts some air on that ball, that's a touchdown now. And those
lead him a little bit more, and that is a touchdown.
Correct,
but like you said, it could be those ribs affecting his throwing power, and but maybe he'll get some rest in between now and this week, and he'll come out a little healthier. But and I'll say one more thing before I go.
Sure.
Buda Baker is a great defensive back, but he ain't Antoine Whitfield Jr. I don't know how that happened.
Not even close. I
don't know how that happened.
And you look at the year, Edison, of Winfield Jr., it just continues to get better and better. And again, it's not about all pro. It's not about Pro Bowl. I would say defensive player of the year because
absolutely.
Look at what Winfield has done for this defense this year. And think about it if you don't have this player. I mean, he's right up there in the pantheon of Bucs greats. Leo Word with John Lynch, surpassing him with tackles for a full season, surpassing John Lynch, who's a Hall of Famer, playing like Rondé Barber, shades of Rondé Barber with sacks and stops and not giving up on plays. That is what Winfield Jr. has brought to the table. Edison, thanks a lot for the call. Anything else here on the Evolution?
Go Bucs. We'll see you guys in the playoffs next weekend.
All right, sounds good. There you go. Edison right there leading it off. Open phone line if you want to call up and talk about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Chase McLaughlin with 3 field goals today. What a great pickup, because there's a lot of Bucs fans out there. Ryan Succop's gone. There's a reason why Jason Light and the administration went with Chase McLaughlin in the first place, because he can kick from 50 yards. Let's go out to Alex. Alex, welcome to the Evolution after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers clinched the NFC South 9-0 over the Panthers. Go.
Peter, happy Sunday, my friend. First of all, what an ugly division win. But you know what? I want to start off with some good and a reminder.
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
Yes, it was ugly, but as a win is a win. And the reminder is the fact is a lot of people did not even think we would even get this far.
Yep.
A lot of people had a bunch of unanswered questions about, we might get 6 or 7 wins, but the fact that we went 9-8 on a quarterback that a lot of people had a lot of doubts about, playing injured, blah, blah, blah. We can go over all the bad, but let's look at some good.
Yep.
We got the division win. The reality is Anton Winfield, I want to shout out to my guy because he went out there and balled out and proved all these haters wrong again.
Correct.
I'm still hot about that vote. I'm still hot about how that turned out, but my man balled out. Another forced turnover on the end zone, which ultimately, if you think about it, was a game changer in this entire game.
It's a game changer. It's a game-changing play because it's a 42-yard play that should be 43 yards, and you're up 7. You're tied the game, and most likely you go up 7-6. And you look at the replay, and it looks like Dean is giving up on the play. And, of course, Dean with the recovery in the end zone, which was the right call because they reversed it, because at first they call it a touchdown. But Winfield Jr. has done that all year long, and it goes back to the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcon game where Desmond Ridder looks like he's going to score a touchdown on that, and he doesn't give up on it, and he causes the fumble. I mean, those are the type of plays that separate you from the others. This is why I just cannot fathom when people go, well, you're making a big deal about Buda Baker. It needs to be made a big deal. He not only needs to be a Pro Bowler, he needs to be an All-Pro. And honestly, with what he has brought to this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team this year, he needs to be in that conversation as Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, you look at the numbers again for the day: 5 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and for the year, I mean, 6 forced fumbles, 6 sacks. I mean, what does this guy have to do? He's a monster.
The guy is an ultimate. He's an
he's
all-star.
a monster.
He's a monster, and he's a game changer.
Yeah.
And I've been saying this all year. But hey, Peter, real quick, a couple more things before I go. But can we honestly, though, give a huge shout out to not just him, but let's just be real. The entire defense came on a mission today.
Yes.
Everybody showed up, in my opinion. It was an ugly it wasn't the best, but I mean, a win's a win.
Sure.
But here's my biggest issue going into the Eagles, because I'm assuming we're playing the Eagles from what I hear next weekend. Here's my biggest problem on offense, and here's what I am seeing.
Yeah.
Why are we going for 30-plus yard passes? I caught a pass in the first or second quarter.
Yeah.
Palmer was being played tight coverage. You're playing tight man-to-man coverage on him. You got number 22 wide open.
Yeah.
You need 10 yards.
Yeah.
I literally got a screenshot of number 22 wide open. Literally, that could have been at least a 20, 30-yard gain alone. But the problem is going into next week, Peter, is we got to quit forcing these 20, 30-yard bombs. Baker already is injured. Why are we throwing the ball on a guy who supposedly has all this injury with his ribs and whatever it is? Why we're forcing the ball down the field? Now, it was nice to see them mix it up in the fourth quarter, but if you're going to go against the Eagles team, you can't keep throwing shots on the field.
Sure.
But Peter, I'm gonna let you go. I know there's a lot of guys that come in, but real quick, a great division win at the end of the day. It was ugly, but again, I'm going to remind everybody out there, because I know you have a lot of people that watch you. Remember, a lot of people came into this season with a lot of doubts. A lot of people said, we might get 4 or 5 wins tops. We're division champs.
Yep.
We're 3-peat champions.
Yep.
Let's not complain. Let's endure the moment, and hopefully next week we can be a little bit better prepared than what we were this week. But
good
Peter,
stuff,
it's been a
Alex.
Great season, bro. I'm going to catch you in the off season. You know, I'm always going to jump in on the sports web.
Well, and absolutely use that second call, my friend. Good stuff. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. You know, I got to do it. I got to do it because Bucs fans out there, you're going to the playoffs. Huh? Buccaneers, go Bucs! And anybody saying, look, was this win ugly? Absolutely. Right? But how many ugly seasons, Bucs fans, had you had to endure with this team not making it to the playoffs, not even having an opportunity, a chance to get to the playoffs? I mean, I want you to put that in perspective. I mean, put it in perspective how Todd Bowles, is looking like he's on a hot seat, where you lose 6 out of 7, and you're left for dead, and you're 4-7. And then you win 4 in a row at the most important time in December, and then you lose to the Saints. And then you have a hurt quarterback. I mean, go all the way back into the offseason where you're $75, $80 million in cap trouble. And national media is saying, Peter King of Sports Illustrated, how you're a 2 to 3 win team. Put that in perspective. I get it. The offense has struggled the last couple weeks. I get it. This team has not looked great. And there's all kinds of concerns when it comes to Baker Mayfield and whether he's hurt or not, or whether he's ineffective. But I mean, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, that ain't bad. You know, Rashad White had an opportunity to get 1,000 yards today. Chris Godwin gets 1,000 yards today receiving. It's not all that bad. I get it. It's one of the worst divisions in football. But you're the winner of it 3 years in a row. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Get on the phone lines. Let's talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. Let's go out to the comments here. Giovanni says, yeah, pretty much. Yeah! Let's go ahead and get a little John reference there. First, as always, thank you very much, Facebook user. We got a lot of work to do, but a win is a win. Bring your passion. I think that's Jay Etheridge. I appreciate that, Jay. And Leo, if you're hearing me right now, if you want to call in, you call in. But I wanted to devote this time to you Bucs fans. Because I get it. It's easy to be negative about this team. But put it in perspective. You're going to the playoffs. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Yo, it's Ferris, Mr. Ohio Buck, and I'm here to speak my mind.
Speak your mind, Ferris. Speak to the choir there, my friend. Preach on as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the playoffs after an ugly win over the Carolina Panthers 9-0. Go, my friend.
Come on, Peter.
Yeah.
It was ugly.
Yes.
But everybody talks about what the offense didn't do. I want to talk about what the defense did.
Absolutely.
The defense showed up and showed that they wanted to be in this playoffs, and our defense showed that they wanted to be some of the greats, especially our pro snub, Mr. Antoine Winfield.
Yes. I mean, how'd you like that? I mean, the guy consistently, and look, there have been players on this team that have quit. There have been players on this team that have quit on plays during those big time moments. Antoine Winfield Jr. isn't one of them. I'm sorry. He's not.
Absolutely not. Every play he goes.
Yep.
Every play.
Yep.
So shout out to our defense. And I get on Facebook and I get on social media and people talk about, we can't do anything against a 2-14 team, but you forget that the NFL is about offense, defense, and special teams.
Correct.
It's not always about putting up 45 points a game.
Correct.
If you can shut an NFL team to no points, then your defense is a very good defense.
And let me bring up a point here that a lot of Bucs fans will forget, because first and foremost, Carolina has nothing to play for, so that makes them even more dangerous. And on top of it, they're trying to play spoiler. And then furthermore, you go back to that 2002 Buccaneer team. They beat the Bears, who had also nothing to play for, 15-0. Does it take away that they're Super Bowl champion? And look, I'm not trying to compare the two, but ugly wins happen in the National Football League. That other team is paid also. Do they have things to work on? Yes, they do. Hopefully you can get Baker, healthy. For me, he looked, not healthy all day long. He looked off. He was limping throughout the whole game. And here's the quarterback. Say whatever you want to out there, Baker haters. But when you need a key third down conversion with that guy limping, he's going to give it his all. He's going to convert that third down conversion. That's huge. And he's done that also all year long.
And that's why I will fight anyone who talks bad about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to look about what he didn't do in the beginning of his career, being the first pick or being traded or whatever. The whole point of the matter is that when the game was on the line and he needed to get the yards that he needed to get, he did it. And if there's anybody I want to go to war with, is a man who is not only hurt, but he's going to say, look, get on my back and I'll carry you. I'll limp you across that yard line.
Sure.
So that's gold for me.
Yeah.
This is a man who's going to fight for every person on this team, and that is a true teammate to me.
Yep. And again, the Bucs missed their opportunities in that first half with some, throws. Even Todd Bowles talked about it. He thought that Baker looked good. I don't know what Todd Bowles was looking at, because I didn't think Baker looked good at all. He looked inaccurate. He was fortunate. You get fortunate sometimes, because that could have been ugly. That could have been an ugly situation with the pressure getting there, offensive line not helping out. But once again, Baker not accurate. And, trying to throw an interception. And thank God, Carolina can't catch, because that could have been an ugly situation. But you get away with it. You miss some opportunities. The game, could have been a lot better than what it was. And you miss those. But once again, your defense picks you up in those situations. And look, if you want to, hang your hat on, the defense being one of the premier in the league, they showed that today. I've been very critical of them, but Antoine Winfield Jr., shutting down the running game was tough today, 130 yards, but they figure it out with Winfield Jr. making a huge play to knock them out of field goal range. You saw Devin White show up today. You saw Levante David, even being banged up, show up today. So, overall, this defense did everything they could to win this game, help that offense out that largely struggled for the day. Ferris, what else?
That's it. That's all I got.
All right,
I just wanted to really give kudos to our team, our grit. And, we showed that we really wanted to be in the playoffs. And, whatever NFC East team that we play next week, I don't care. I'm going to be there loud and proud. and I am going to be shouting in that stadium, and hopefully we can come away with another win. And, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for, all season long doing what you do and keeping us pumped up. And
this is what I
do for the Buccaneers,
and this is how personal this is for me, Bucs fans. I give out my personal number. Like, forget the girls, forget my social life. I'm all about Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans. I'm all about sports fans here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Ferris, use that second call. Appreciate your support as always. And definitely, as always, go Bucs, my friend. All right?
All right, go Bucs, brother. Talk with you soon.
All right, sounds good right there. Good stuff there. I mean, I love this, right? I mean, and it's easy to sit here and nitpick and sit here and say, they should have won by more. They should have did more. Absolutely. You could say that. But you're looking at the 3-time NFC South champions, so let's keep it in perspective. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Facebook chats are open. If you love the content, if you enjoyed the content, give the Facebook stars. And, of course, YouTube super chats. I tell you what, let's go out to my co-host here. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire here of the Sports Web, Mr. Harry the Greek. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Television. After the Tampa Bay Buccaneers clinch the NFC South in ugly fashion, but they get it done. Your thoughts? Welcome to the Sports Web.
Never sweated it.
Never, because we text during through the game and you said, and we go back to the first half, and it was almost like deja vu again, whether it was Evans dropping the ball or Baker not dropping the ball, giving Evans more airtime. You had a win. You had a touchdown there. You missed that opportunity. Yes.
Pete.
Yes.
Oh my God, what a disgusting, ugly game we just watched. But you know what?
Yeah.
Tomorrow it shows how does Winston do it? Oh, let me feed me that W. It's still a W. Okay.
Yes.
How do you do that, by the way? Is it like
I don't know.
Who cares? Anyway, it's a W.
Yeah.
But I just need to ask you a question, Buck fans. How does it feel to have a top 10 defense? Because thank God it showed up today, because I'm going to tell you right now, they lose this game 10-9. The end.
Yeah.
Blown field goal and a touchdown that was called back. But you know what? I'd rather be lucky than good any time, any day of the week. Baker, I hope he's going to be okay, because he definitely doesn't look good. He could have thrown 3 picks today. It just wasn't really pretty on offense, and it hasn't been pretty on offense for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But you know what? Strap it on and let's go, because we got one more week.
Did it look like to you that Baker was hurt in this game? Because
no. Every time he got up from one of the 50 hits that he took today.
Yeah.
Okay. Not saying anything personal about that offensive line, but one of the 50 hits that he took today. Yeah. Every time he got up, he looked like he was hurt, but he bounced back up every single time. I did notice there was one drive. I don't remember which one it was, because I was at the dog track, that he was sitting by himself on the bench with just his iPad. Nobody was around. It was just like he's just trying to gather his thoughts and get back into the game. Defense won this game. And as I told you, Peter, maybe you want to go ahead and repeat what I said earlier in the game.
Sure.
The defense, run the ball and let's play defense, because that's the only way they were winning this game. Well, the running the ball portion of it didn't come through, but the defense did.
Well, you're not necessarily right about that, because you look at the final numbers. White, 19 carries for 75 yards. So they did run the ball. You got Chase Edmonds with a big-time run there in the fourth quarter, which is huge. So, yeah, it looked like the running game wasn't successful, but they were, again, they made more of a concerted effort, if you will, to run the ball. I felt like, and you got Todd Bowles on right now. I'm
watching it.
I like to hear what he's saying, but you say whatever you want to about Todd Bowles, but kind of put this in perspective. And this is
Are you firing them, Bucs fans? They won the South again. Are we firing them or what?
Well, here's a locker room that never gave up on him. Here is a team that is left for dead at the beginning of the year. Here's a team that is dealing with a $75 to $80 million cap hit, and somehow, some way, they figure out the situation, whether it's offensive football at some points, whether offensive today, whether it's the defense.
It was offensive.
Right. Whether it's the defense,
it was offensive.
Lots of yards in the passing game, but stiffening in the red zone, causing turnovers. But I got to go back to the play of the game here. Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yes,
Talk
it was.
about him.
Kept that hustle.
For DJ Shark there. Looks like he's going to score a touchdown, but Winfield Jr. not giving up on it. Talk about Winfield's day.
What am I going to say? I mean, he personally single-handedly won this game for the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got to say. Anybody want to dispute that? Go back and watch the game and watch the tape.
Sure.
Antoine Winfield, to me, is a top 5 safety in this league.
Yeah, completely. I think he's the best safety in this league, period.
Hey, you'll say that, but I'm just saying he's a top 5. He really is.
I mean, I look at his numbers. I don't know who's doing what he's doing. I don't know who's causing forced fumbles. I don't know who's making tackles all the time. I don't know who's
That's for another show, buddy.
Right.
We can get into that. Let's just soak this in. They're going to the playoffs 3 years in a row. It's exciting.
3 years in a row, and according to Andrew Siciliano, there, this is a team 4 times in the NFC that's made the playoffs. Made the playoffs. Let's go out to Edison. A win's a win, but played like, agree with that. I want an apology from everyone who said I was wrong, that we were worse than this year. I told you we had a good nucleus, and I think that's what it goes back to. You lose Tom Brady, so nothing is expected of you. Baker Mayfield, 28 touchdowns, interceptions. You have a new offensive coordinator. You have, a new offensive line. You have a new playbook. And again, there have been flashes of brilliance where this team has shown that they can score some points. I tell you what, I don't have a sound effect, damn it, but we'll go ahead and go out to him anyway. Jim, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the NFC South 9-0 over the Panthers. Go.
Hey, did Antoine Winfield Jr. win us the game again?
I tell you right now, you could definitely make a case for it. You can make a case for it, could you not? Right? I mean, I think he's the player of the game. He makes the play of the game, makes 2 plays of the game there, because you get a sack on Bryce Young, and that moves you out of field goal range. You try for a 52-yarder, and you miss that field goal. That's a huge play also that won't be looked at, but needs to be looked at. And it goes back to it. And I can't talk enough about this, man. He's just a kid. He's 25 years old. What he's done this year, surpassing John Lynch with, tackles for defensive back in a full year. The sacks, the interceptions, the big time plays. I mean, he's a combination of John Lynch and Rondé Barber right before our eyes. And guess what, guys? He's 25 years old and he's accomplishing all of this.
Well, I will give John Lynch a little defense on that. Okay, he played with a little bit of a different front seven. Okay, than Antoine Winfield right now. I'm just being real. That front seven was a little different back then.
Well, I tell you
what
right
it is now.
That's even more of a point, because he's not necessarily playing with the greatest front seven, and he's still able to be more successful than John Lynch. Put that in context, because you have Warren Sapp and you have Derek Brooks in front of you, and yet Winfield Jr. is still able to do what he's doing at a high level. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, like that. He's flying around, man.
Yeah.
You keep it up, we can do something in the playoffs.
No, I definitely think you can here. Hold on a minute.
Real hurt out there.
Stand by, Jim. Caller, we'll come out to you in a moment after we'll finish with Jim. All right, stand by. Let me go back out to Jim. Jim, go ahead.
I said, we got to do something about Baker Mayfield. He's looking real hurt out there.
Well, and again, whether it was the ribs, whether it was the ankle, because you could see him clearly limping throughout the whole game, taking hits. And, of course, your offensive line, doesn't help. They're not slouches over there on that defense. In fact, Derek Brown, which I couldn't believe this, has 100 tackles this year, which is amazing in itself. So that is also a top 10 defensive unit. They are a terrible team, but they definitely put a lot more pressure than I think the Bucs would like. And you got to protect Baker Mayfield no matter what defense it's against, especially if he's hurt. And I felt like he wasn't 100%. And I also think that this is a clear indication that they have more confidence even in, a 60 to 65%, maybe a 75% Baker Mayfield over a Kyle Trask. Because I know there's a lot of fans out there screaming for Kyle Trask, put him in. They just
not in this game. No. Hold on. Back up. Put me in the back room for a second. Emergency call. Put me.
Yes, I got you right there. All right, Jim, go ahead and finish up, and we'll get out to another caller here on the Evolution. Yes.
How long we got to this playoff game? Next weekend?
Well, next weekend we know. We'll know tonight here what happens with the Cowboys and the Commanders, and of course the Eagles and the Giants. So
somebody said we got to play the Giants or Eagles. I'm sorry.
Well, if the Cowboys win, then the Eagles are the team that you're playing at Raymond James Stadium. I mean, that's basically the Eagles. Need the Cowboys to lose, and of course the Eagles need to take care of their business, and then they would win the NFC East. So right now the NFC East also up for grabs. I think it's going to be the Eagles that come here to Tampa. I've said that all along. I think the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East, but I could be wrong. We'll see how it all plays out.
So I think, man, because I know the Eagles got that good defensive line. So I don't know how they've been playing because they've been kind of losing some of these games they should have been winning. But I got a good friend that's an Eagles fan, so I kind of follow them off and on.
Yeah.
I said, man, we're gonna have to watch that playoff game. Get them old Buccaneers, get them cannons ready.
That's it. Get it ready. I'll fire the cannon for you right there. All right, Jim, thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call, and I promise I will get that sound effect eventually. All right? Damn it, Jim. Thanks a lot for calling. All right, let me go back out to the phone lines here. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Mike Jones from Cleveland, Ohio. How you doing, Mr. Blake?
I'm doing good, Mr. Jones. How are you doing today as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, Mike.
I got a question for you. So
sure.
I know you said, the Eagles, we may play in Tampa. I was looking ahead this week, and do you think Monday night would be a good day looking at the schedule ahead for the wild card? Or what are you predicting?
I hope not. But, there's certainly a possibility of that because, you've got Jalen Hurts and, of course, the Eagles and, a nationally recognized team. I hope it's not the Eagles on Monday night. I hope it's a Sunday day game or maybe a Saturday game. I hope it's not prime time, but you just never know with the NFL. I think there's certainly a possibility, although you would think that maybe national media wouldn't want to put the Bucs on prime time with the showing they had against the Cowboys last year on Monday Night Football.
I agree, Mr. Blake, and I appreciate all you did this season. Just a shout out to you and your team, and we appreciate you, and go Bucs.
Yeah, man.
Nice call.
That's it, man. You want to say anything else?
No, Bears number 1 pick. Who you got?
Bears number 1 pick. I mean,
who do we got? Who does the Greek got with the number 1 pick?
Yeah, I'll go out to Harry.
Yeah, that's who we got. Greek guy. Who you got?
You know what? I'll tell you right now. That's a great question. I don't want to take anything away from this great Bucs win. I'm not trying to take anything from going into the playoffs. But since we just turned the corner, I'll tell you what's going to happen. It all depends on how Justin Fields plays in this game. Period. If he turns around and he balls out and they beat Green Bay and knock him out of the playoffs, the Chicago fans would absolutely hang the city of Chicago for getting rid of him. But if they do get rid of him, they're going to get a lot back for him, and they get to keep that number 1 draft pick, that first overall draft pick. It's going to be Caleb Williams.
All right, and I tell you right now, I think they go with Justin Fields, especially if that coach is hanging around.
Don't be too surprised, Peter.
Don't be surprised if they take that first-round pick and try to.
There's rumors out there right now. There's 2 teams. Atlanta is offering multiple draft picks, including one specific tight end that was a first-round draft pick. The Raiders are supposedly offering multiple draft picks, including Max Crosby.
Okay.
For Justin Fields. It's going to be listen, man, if they're offering all that, he's got to go.
Well,
he's got to go.
It just depends on the administration. If you're keeping the coach there and you're keeping the offensive coordinator.
For the first round pick is what they're offering.
For the first round pick.
Correct.
Yeah, that's where I think you could go with, getting multiple first round picks and addressing the needs on this team and continue to go with Justin Fields.
If you drop past pick 3, okay, it's a waste. I don't care how many picks you get, because you get Marvin Harrison Jr. at pick 3, because your first 2 picks are going to be quarterbacks.
Yeah.
If you go past pick 3, you're not getting him. He is a game changer. He's another Mike Evans. Probably, I hate to say it, Bucs fans, could be better.
I don't know if there's another Mike Evans out there, but the comparison
it's a tough one
there. Yeah, I mean, Malik Neighbors, it's also one, and Keon Coleman, but we'll talk about the draft throughout the offseason here. Let's go back out to these comments. I mean, this one right here, and this is from Jorge.
We already read that.
Yeah, we read that one. I mean, I think he's definitely right on it. I think there's a lot of people out there that would say again, the expectations of this team coming into the year, you're not sure what to expect. And a lot of national media pundits putting out their 2-3 win team, cap hit. What they've done has been tremendous. And I get it. It hasn't always been pretty, but they get it done any way it goes. All right, let's go out to Anthony Richardson. This sucks. I was hoping we would lose so we can fire that statue, silent Bob Bowles. Once again, bringing absolutely nothing to the table. I appreciate you.
That's a funny comment, though.
He's consistent with nonsense all
I got
the time.
a question.
Yes.
Anthony Richardson, why don't you follow Rick Hughes, man? He's got the greatest cat in the world. He's the angry producer. He says, "Go Bucks."
Yeah.
Owes everybody money. I mean, just go follow him.
Go follow him. I mean, seriously. I mean, the only thing you ever offer is just nonsense at this point. I mean, seriously.
He reminds me of Richard Nixon.
Oh, geez.
Go Bucks. Go Bucks.
All right, let's go out to Ed. Ugly win, but I'll take it. Absolutely. Christopher Cole, geez, that game was stressful. Mike says, horrid. We should have at least attempted to score a touchdown at the end of the game. Mike, I mean, what is it? Horrid.
What does it matter?
What does it matter? Like, I don't understand. It's like, Mike, I love you to death. I'm glad that I got to go full screen because I just don't understand.
I'm sorry, Mike.
For gambling purposes at this point, what is the point of scoring a touchdown? If you try to score a touchdown, okay, and you fumble the ball, you'd be the first guy that would sit on here and say, well, the Bucs shouldn't have been doing that. I mean, Bucs fans, some of you guys are just never satisfied. Like, come on, like, keep it in perspective. 3-time NFC South champs. What do you want, Mike? What do you want, Bucs fans? Go ahead.
Mike, these opinions don't necessarily represent what Harry the Greek thinks, but Peter's right. He is. He's right.
I mean,
what does it do? Because honestly, if they do score a TD, it doesn't make the game go over, and the game is still under. The Bucs had already covered because they were only 4-point favorites. They won 9-0.
Right.
I mean, so to score touchdowns so it looked better. Look, Mike, they could have scored 2 more touchdowns in that game, and pardon the pun, that offense looked like shit.
It did.
Yeah.
It
would have made a difference if they scored a touchdown. Look at it this way. At least they didn't waste a touchdown in this game. Maybe they'll get 3 or 4 next week. Huh?
All right,
let's think about it that way. Come on.
Let's go out to Alex here. Alex, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, using your second call. Go ahead.
So I wanted to go to a side thing you were just talking about.
Who is this?
Alex.
Oh, Alex. Hey,Alex. You want to talk about our boy from the Tampa Bay Rays?
Let's not. Let's not go there.
I thought we were going that route today. Sorry.
Let's not go there. We're talking Bucs. Go ahead.
Good.
What happened?
No, nothing, Alex. Come on, buddy. I'm just
Come on,
razzing you a little
Alex. Talk Bucs here. Come on. What do you got?
I was confused what you said. Anyway, you were talking about before I called about all the Bucs fans being ungrateful, but you got to look. People got to realize that we were going into a season where there was a lot of unknowns, right?
Right.
Baker being a quarterback, bouncing from team to team, didn't know what was going to happen with that. You started off this season by losing Ryan Jensen. Your offensive line's already scrambling to put pieces together. If you look at the overall team and what we've done, there is a lot of good and there is bad, regardless of the fact of how we played the last 2 weeks, which has been ugly.
Yeah.
There's nothing to, like I said earlier, look, I'm happy we're division titles, title champs 3 weeks in a row or 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
That's great and all. But at the end of the day, there is a lot of good and bad. How about guys like Winfield Jr. balling out, having a hell of a year, which, by the way, like I said earlier, don't talk about why he didn't get in the Pro Bowl. That's a whole nother discussion. But there's just a lot of things to look, regardless of what happens next weekend. Rather we win, lose, we go home. Bucs fans are always going to find shit to cry about. That's just what they do. But the reality of it is, can you guys agree that all things that we have looked at all year long going into the season, can we at least say that I think we did a pretty damn good job?
I definitely think you could say that. And I think, again, you had adverse situations. You had a new offense, a new offensive coordinator, a new offensive line trying to come together. a lot of things went against you. And again, did I think this offense played well all year long? No. Do I think the defense played, well all year long? No, I don't. But somehow, some way, this team finds a way to figure it out. And, to their credit, it'd be easy for, this locker room to give up on this coach. And they didn't. They didn't give up on this coach. They played for him all year long. And a lot of fans, wanting Todd Bowles. And I understand that point to it, because you go back before halftime there. I don't know what Dave Canales is calling. I don't know why you're calling a run in that situation when you have no timeouts. And then I don't understand that. Like, you have one timeout at that point. You're calling a run, so you can't stop the clock. And then you settle for a 57-yard field goal, which Chase McLaughlin, has been money all year long when it comes to, kicking, outside of 50 yards. It's been tremendous. 3 field goals today. Huge pickup by Jason Light, but I don't understand the play calling. I haven't understood the play calling in those situational things all year long when it comes to, you have timeouts, you're not using timeouts, and then you use timeouts and you're calling a run. You need to throw the ball at that point. And you're very fortunate that Chase McLaughlin is able to kick long distance for that.
And Peter, and going on a side note about the play calling, I'll never understand how this team could be so inconsistent. We went 3 weeks ago. We went 3 weeks back, and I think Dave Canales put one of the best playbooks on the field he did all year.
Yeah.
And we won, and you just go the very next week, and it's complete shit.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that's where I don't understand is our coaching. Everybody says our players, but our coaching is inconsistent.
Yeah.
Why are you, today alone, why are you continue to throw the ball 30 yards deep to Palmer, being held in tight coverage, tight coverage, when you got a guy, again, as I said earlier, you got number 22 wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open. You need 10 yards.
Right.
We're continuing for the first half of the game, throwing bombs on the field. Stop throwing bombs. Clearly, Baker is hurt today. His accuracy, in my opinion, was a little less than usual. But, as you were
terrible. It was terrible. And whether it was the pressure, whether it was the ribs, whether it was the ankle, you were fortunate. He was fortunate, and the Bucs were fortunate in that first half that they didn't have, more turnovers, because there were 3 to 5 interceptions that he could have had in that first half alone, and he got away with it because the Panthers weren't able. And that's the reason why they're a 2-win team in the first place. It doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to play hard. But they miss out on those opportunities. You look at it, if you don't pick up that penalty on that long run for 28 yards by the Panthers, that could be a closer game. But instead, what do? They shoot themselves in the foot. So that's the reason why they're a 2-win team.
And if I'm the Buccaneers,
and
I'm a Buck fan, I'm shutting my mouth, because the reality is that there was 3 potential turnovers alone that first quarter. That
you mean the 3 interceptions that should have been?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the second quarter, hold on. In defense, okay, we already know that the offense did not play well today at all. Matter of fact, I'm being very kind when I'm saying the words that I'm using. Okay, the defense again has picked up this team.
Yeah.
Okay, embrace it. This is what's going to get you through there. And by the way, the young man on the other side could have thrown 3 picks today as well. Just saying.
Sure, because you have Carlton Davis who needs to, make a play there, doesn't make a play, can't. I mean, if the ball's just a little bit lower at that point, you have an opportunity there to make some plays, and you don't do that either. But you're exactly right, and I give credit to where credit is due. Again, and I've been very critical on. And Alex, I tell you what, we're going to run here. We're going to read the rest of these comments. I appreciate the call. Open phone lines, using your second call. You can use your second call or use your first call. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Yes, go ahead.
Can I just bring up one comment? I hope he's still watching the show.
Sure, go for it.
James Canada says, great job by the defense today. Thank God. I agree with you 1,000,000%.
Sure.
James, do me a favor. Can you go ahead and call into the show? Because I personally have some questions for you regarding this, because I want to talk a little bit about the playoffs that are coming up, especially from a handicapper's perspective. And if you don't want to call and you want me to send you the link, just put it into the chat. Either one of the two. But please call in. The line's open for you.
Yeah, big game James right there. Of course, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, former Indianapolis Colt here on the Evolution. I want to get back out to these comments. So I don't mean to kill Mike on this, but it's like I hear this and I'm getting and I'm open to it. I leave myself open to, people texting me if you want to text me your frustrations. And I got like 5 or 6 people that every game and I appreciate that. But there's such a negativity here. And I also think, a lot of Bucs fans are spoiled because, again, you're so used to Tom Brady, not maybe last year, but the 2 years before, and how you always are able to complete those passes and convert and win. And now it's something like you expect that. And I understand that attitude. I get that. But everything all the time is not going to go your way. And Tom Brady's not coming through that door. But Baker Mayfield, going back to it, you look at that first half play there with Mike Evans, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, deja vu all over again. And even though Evans puts his hands on the ball and he most likely should have caught it, looked like a defender was coming in there. If Baker puts a little bit more air on that ball, that's an easy touchdown, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I wasn't really going any more forward. I don't want to pick on the kid. I just the kid. He's not a kid. He's a man. I don't want to pick on the man. He's entitled to an opinion.
Yeah.
It's just it just kind of rubbed it the wrong way because you should be basking in the glory of the win. But honestly, Mike, there was no reason to score a touchdown.
Yeah, no reason at all.
There's no reason.
9-0.
Only bad could have happened.
Right.
Coming from that, because I mean, it could have resulted in a turnover, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and some of these teams are going to struggle today. You know why? Because they're division rivals. The Panthers are division rivals. Say whatever you want to about a 2-win team, but even James said it, on the Facebook post there that this game kind of scared him. Why? Because it's a division rival. You look at the Saints and the Falcons, they're division rivals. You always play, it's always a tougher game against those opponents. Wasn't pretty, but a win's a win. LFG. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll have you know, I have paused a particular game that I
see that.
Super interested in watching. You got me for about 20 more minutes. I can't miss.
Okay, 20 more minutes on that game.
I mean,
versus the Bears.
I do not want scores. I want nothing.
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 You know who it's going to be that's going to give the score away? It's going to be Anthony Richardson. That's what he's going to do. That's what he does.
If he does that, If he does that,
that's what he does.
If he does that, I promise you, because I have horsepower, he will be banned.
Banned. Okay. All right. So Ben, thanks a lot for the comment. Win is a win. Ed says ugly win, but I'll take it. I think you will. Anthony says start the show already. Oh my God. I mean, pay me already, bro. Oh my God. YouTube super chats are open. If you want me to start the show when you want it, go ahead and give to the fund there, which you never give to in the first place. It's almost like the Bucs not scoring a touchdown on the opening drive this year. What can you make of that? You look back at that first drive. I know it's a little while ago, but what do you see? Is it the fact of why did they start out so slow? And to that point, can they afford to do that with the playoffs coming up?
I don't think that they were starting off slow. They were trying to push the ball. You've seen it. They just weren't successful. The team just not in sync. And, I mean, Baker Mayfield's having a hard time seeing his receivers to the right. How about that deep pass to Mike Evans?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, that's another thing. And
who's calling in?
That would be Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, welcome to the Evolution as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes. How are you feeling, my friend? I know that it was kind of frantic, kind of stressful, ugly win, but it's a win.
It was kind of shaky, you know.
Yes.
Harry.
What's up, man? What's up?
Pause your TV.
He said you need to pause your TV. That's what he said.
I already did.
Pause his TV.
Unpause it. He says, yeah.
No, I don't want to unpause it. Please don't say nothing. Peter, cut him off.
Okay. Well, don't give away the score, Mr.
I don't want the scores. I want to watch the game. There's a reason for it. I want to enjoy this right here.
No, I'm not going to give away the score.
Okay.
But, yeah, man, I need to see you in Tampa so I can get my chicken wings.
Yeah, he's got to get his chicken wings here. I mean, let's talk about the game here, Mr. Williams. What did you see out of it?
My game, I appreciate my defense, okay?
I got you.
Oh, yeah. That defense, let me tell you something. That defense is saving it.
Defense stood up.
Yep.
All right. 2 years, $54 million. I agree with that.
2 years, $54 million for who? Baker?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen that rumor out there.
Oh, so hang on. So the Greek is almost right. 254.
Yeah.
I'm saying 380.
Well, I'll say this. Listen.
Yes, I do agree with that. Yes, sir. I do.
I would say, listen,
the
Mr.
young
Williams.
man was playing limping.
Mr. Williams, I would say this.
Yes.
I think it's more likely a 3-year, $75 million deal, much like Geno Smith got last year in this offseason with the Seattle Seahawks, because, again, there are times, whether he's hurt or not, this offense has struggled. He has struggled.
It's 375 right now. What if they win a playoff game, Peter?
Still 375.
Zero. And I'm going to tell you, timestamp this, everybody. The Greek has given it to you explicitly, okay? And it's coming to you live right now. It's just free knowledge. There's 7 teams in the National Football League looking for a first-string quarterback. There's going to be way too much money out. You froze up here.
Yeah, we lost you there for a minute. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi right now. Wi-Fi is trying to take me down, but it was not successful.
He's trying to, right, because I hear it.
Yes. All right, go ahead. Keep on going, Mr. Williams.
Right. Like I say, whatever got to come here in this first playoff game, I'm going to go to round 2. I'm going to round 2 without a shadow of a doubt.
So you think the Bucs are going to be able to have enough confidence and put this offense together to survive right now? Just to give you an update on the game. Hold on. Cowboys are up 7-0 over the Commanders, so it could be the Philadelphia Eagles coming to town. So you're confident in this Bucs team with what you saw the last couple of weeks for them to move on to the second round, Mr. Williams?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the game you watched today?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We're gonna put something. We're gonna put something together.
I got to catch up to Mr. Williams. I got to pack something real quick here. Okay.
Would you be quiet? Enough.
I just have to roll it. It's okay. We're good.
Okay, get out of here with that, Mr. Williams. What else here on the Sports Web, my friend?
But with that, whoever come here, yes, I really do think that I'm going to win my first round.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, Mr. Williams.
Great call.
Yeah, I'm going to win. If it's Dallas, I know I'm going to win. Because Dallas ain't good at
they're not good on the grass. They're definitely not. You're absolutely correct about that, Mr. Williams.
Dallas ain't good on the road, and that's why Dallas is not going to be on the top of the division.
Well, I think they're going to win the NFC East here, and I think it's going to cost the Eagles. I think the Eagles, with their 10-1 start, you could be looking at it whether they win or not today. If Dallas wins, they win the NFC East. The Eagles will be coming here as the 5th seed, which is amazing in itself because, again, the Eagles were 10-1, looking unstoppable, and they've definitely gone into a downturn. Mr. Williams
almost looked as bad as the Jacksonville Jaguars down the stretch.
Yeah. Yep.
But though, isn't the Eagles' record better than Dallas right now?
I do not believe. I do not. Let's go ahead and check.
I'll check it. I'm your info guy.
Because they need for the Eagles to lose
11-5, buddy. Both
in order
teams
to be on top of that division.
Yes, but I believe Dallas has the tiebreaker over Philadelphia. Do they not?
Because they need for
division. They're both 4-1
tonight.
Okay.
Cowboys conference record 8-3. Eagles are 7-4.
There you go. There it is, right there. And why?
Wow, it goes to 3 different things. Yes. Isn't that unreal?
Because they lost to San Francisco 49ers.
Wow, that's really cool.
There you go. Well,
they need for the Eagles to lose in order to get that division.
No. All the Cowboys have to do is win their game. If they win their game, they win the NFC East. Because they have a better. Blow
socks off.
Well, it's not Tyreek.
Tyreek blow their socks off.
Well, they're playing the Commanders. So I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to play in that game.
No, don't worry. Let Mr. Williams.
Quiet, Mr. Williams.
He's going to run right by him through Miami, Atlanta, Carolina. Hell, he's running all the way to Washington right now. You're right.
Dallas ain't going nowhere unless Jerry Jones dies.
Oh my gosh! All right,
God, that's horrible,
Mr. Williams. On that note,
love,
yes,
man.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Hey, Harry.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man,
Chicken wings. I know the chicken wings.
Get this man some chicken wings. Can you get him some chicken wings? Because he needs some chicken wings. We got to get you some chicken
Peter,
wings.
I already told you. I'll entertain him to come out. I'll meet him at the horse track or the dog track.
Okay.
I'll sponsor, but you have to pick him up.
Okay. All right. We can do that. We can figure this out. We'll get you out to one of our remotes out there when the playoffs are going on. Appreciate you, Mr. Williams. Use that second call. All right.
Man.
All right. For sure. Absolutely. For sure. For sure. I love that.
Hey, give me a go Bucks and a go Bears, Mr. Williams, before you go.
Well, he's gone there, but
oh, Jesus.
How about them Bucks, baby?
There you go. Right. All right. Let's go back out to the callers or the webheads here. Better to be lucky than good. Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Ralph. Go Bucks. NFC South champions 3 years in a row. Let's see, 6-time NFC South champions. There you go, Mike, right there. All right, let's go out 3 years in a row, baby. Absolutely, Mike COC. Winfield Jr. with a statement game. Again, I think that's definitely a statement game, and that's basically a proverbial middle finger to the Pro Bowl committee, whether it's the fans or his colleagues. He doesn't care about the Pro Bowl. And he was extra motivated in this game, and he played his ass off and made 2 big plays, including, once again, the biggest play of the game, which changes the momentum. And you always talk about momentum. That changed with that play, the Mo. Yep. All right, let's go out to Ed. Ed, welcome to the Evolution using your first call after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Panthers 9-0. Go.
Do I sound okay? I'm driving home from Orlando.
Well, that's okay. You called in. You sound fine. You sound like you're calling from, your Bluetooth, and that's all right. As long as we don't lose any signal here. Go ahead, my friend.
All right. It was an ugly game.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield definitely looked like he was hurt.
Yep.
I wish the Bucs would have won last week, but they didn't. They got it done this week, but it'd been better because then they could rest Baker and he'd be fresh for the playoffs. But he's going to go into the playoffs a little beat up, and we're just going to have to work around that, figure out a way to win.
That's it. You're exactly right, and you're going to have to depend on that running game. And White in this game, was tough yards, 19 for 75. But again, it goes back to Harry's point. That's the reason why he's my co-host in the first place, because we complement each other. He talked about it all year long. You have to be balanced, especially when your passing game is not getting it done, and that running game definitely got it done today. Stand by here, Ed. Okay, I don't know what's going on here with the phone line. Ed, go ahead.
Did the Saints win?
The last time they checked here, I believe the Saints did win that game. Did they not?
Damn it.
So they have it. They still have a chance. They won. Yeah, they won 48-17.
They crushed them.
Yeah, they still have an opportunity, by the way, to get into the playoffs, but they have to have some things happen here. I believe it's Green Bay has to lose, Seattle has to lose. So
I don't think they're getting in. I don't think Green Bay is losing. What do you guys think?
Well, we'll see. Yes.
What does Brees think about it? Does the Saints get into the playoffs?
No.
What do you think?
Thank you.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Stand by, Ed. Caller, we're going to put you on hold here. We're going to finish off with Ed, and we'll come back out to you. All right? Stand by.
All right.
Stand by. I know somebody from North Carolina was calling. Call back. We'll put you on hold also. Ed, what else?
Basically, I really liked what I saw with the defense, and I know this is beating a dead horse, but I'm really upset about, Anton Winfield not making the playoffs,
right?
Or not making the Pro Bowl.
Correct.
And it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
It is, but you know what? He showed today, and it goes back to what, Rondé Barber of the past, right? He didn't make the Pro Bowl either. What did he do? Close down the vet with the 92-yard touchdown return there. He used that for extra motivation. Antoine Winfield Jr., maybe he uses that for extra motivation, but let's face it, he's been one of the top, if not the top defensive player on the field, not named Levante David or Yaya Diaby, who also picked up a sack today, 7.5, leading this team as a rookie, which is tremendous in itself. But you're exactly right. I think it's going to be used as extra motivation. Ed, anything else?
That'll do it for now. And facts, and it's been a great year.
And it's going to continue. The year's not over with.
I'm not saying, but technically the regular season is over now.
Yes.
Agreed. So I'm just saying it was a good regular season. It was action-packed at times. It was sorry at times. We had the good, bad, and the ugly, basically.
Good call, Ed. Appreciate you as always. Let me go back out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire.
Hey, this is the Prez from Crew Life. We're here in Charlotte, North Carolina, celebrating a victory and a three-peat.
Make some noise then. I love it. Love it. Make some noise, my friend. How is that out there today? I mean, I heard there was a lot of Bucs fans out there, a lot of red jerseys. I mean, go ahead and talk about that, Prez.
It was basically a home game. I mean, there was very few Panther fans at all. And we took over the stadium. You heard the Tampa chants. You heard basically, it was a defensive game. I mean, it was just one of those games that NFC South kind of game. No matter who we play, no matter what the record is, it's always a tough game.
Agreed.
And we came through and we won, and that's what matters. And we found this stat today. You know that in the last 4 years, the Buccaneers are the only team to make the playoffs in the NFC for 4 years straight.
Yes. According to Andrew Siciliano, you're exactly right about that. And I think a lot of Bucs fans, you'll lose focus of that, which is easy to do, but you can't. Prez, stand by here. I believe this is Byram. Stand by, Byram. We're gonna go back. We're gonna come out to you in a moment once we finish up with the Prez. Stand by. All right, Prez, go ahead, my friend.
No, we're just sitting here celebrating, getting ready to go have some juicy steaks, celebrating here in town in Charlotte. They were awesome people.
Yeah.
And definitely a party with Bucs fans going on here. Don't know what to say. We were sitting here watching the show a little bit while we're sitting here celebrating. We figured we'd call in and say hello to you guys.
Hey,
Way
Prez.
to do it, brother. Great call, man.
Appreciate you as always. We'll definitely get you on the Evolution to promote some events that you guys are doing. Love the Crew Life. Love everything that you guys do for Bucs fans out there. Love the atmosphere, and we'll definitely have to get out there in the future. Let me ask you this really quick. Did you think it looked like Baker today? Go ahead and tell me your feelings on Baker Mayfield, because people will look at the numbers: 20 for 32, 137, 28 touchdowns for the year, 10 interceptions. But once again, when you need a key third down conversion, he's done this all year long, which has helped this offense out. He gets it. Kind of talk about Baker Mayfield and what he means to you and what he means to this fan base, in your opinion.
Well, in my opinion, he's with the definition of grit.
Yeah,
he's the guy that's tough, and he's the guy that today he played with a hurt foot. He played with a hurt ribs, and what did he do to spark the team? He went and ran for a first down and took some massive hits. And what did he do? He came up and fired the team up. And from that point on, he played awesome. And for this whole season, everybody's doubting him. All he did was lead the team.
Yeah.
He came in and bet on himself. The handicapper, when you bet on yourself, that's the best bet ever, because you control, you believe in yourself, and he believed in himself.
I think it's a good point. He definitely bet on himself, got $1 million bonus today for just winning this game. He's made lots of money. And it was definitely a bargain for the Bucs with the type of production they got. Prez, thanks a lot for the call. Definitely use that second call if you guys want to. Do me a favor in the background. Can you guys make some noise for me, for the Bucs fans out there in Charlotte?
Hey, I'm on the sports web right now. Can I get a Tampa? Tampa! Let's go!
Love it. Good stuff there, Prez. Thanks a lot for the call, and we'll see you soon here on the sports web, all right?
Love you guys. You guys be good.
All right. Good stuff there. Let's go back out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution. Hello? I don't know what he's doing. I think he's talking to somebody else. Are you there?
No. He's ordering his food.
He's ordering his food. Well, there you go. That's what we do here on the sport. Yeah, what's going on? Welcome to the Sports Web. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Trevor. I'm down here in Charlotte where the game took place, man.
All right. Give me your initial thoughts here on a ugly win, but a win no less to clinch 3 times in a row here, 3 consecutive years of NFC South champions. How does it feel, Trevor?
It feels amazing, because the thing was this. My thought process going to the game was get the damn job done.
That's it.
And we did.
Yes, exactly.
And I know people is going to give, Baker a hard time because he didn't throw any touchdowns, but you could clearly see he was hurt.
Yeah.
So he went out there and just gritted it out. And
for that, I'm just proud of, us just sticking through. We had a lot of grit, and we won ugly, and it's reminiscent of the old school Bucs.
It really is.
Winning ugly.
That's what I was thinking of today, and I go back to it. Paul Stewart of BuckPower.com, put this out there, and I remember it all too well. Right, the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat Harry the Greek Chicago Bears, even though the Bears have a backup quarterback, and you know how terrible the Bucs defense is done against backup quarterbacks. They won 15-0 on the strength of Martin Gramatica. 15-0. That's an ugly win, but it's a win no less. And of course, I'm not comparing the two teams. I'm just saying it's happened. In fact, according to Stewart of BuckPower.com, in these key situations where the Bucs have to win or go home, they are 9-2 in their career when it comes to the history of clinching a playoff seeding, a playoff chance there. 9-2. So pretty amazing stuff. Yeah, 9-2 by the Bucs. So
well, all I gotta say is for all those Bucs fans that hope that we lost and that losing culture that we had to deal with for 13 years from 2008 to 2019. Those days are officially over. Okay, 4 straight times in the playoffs. Get used to winning. You know what I mean? We lost so long that they forgot how it felt to win. So
playoffs,
because guess what? We're going to be better next year. I mean, I know the season's not even over with, but guess what? We're going to have cap space. We're going to be able to sign some free agents. We're going to be able to draft some players, and we're going to get better. So, Bucs fans, get used to this because we're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. You're exactly right. It's we'll see what the future holds, and we'll definitely see what they're going to do. In your opinion, you think Todd Bowles has earned a job here? Is he still on the hot seat? In your opinion, Trevor? And would you bring back and would you bring back a Baker Mayfield with 28 touchdowns and 10 interceptions?
Yes.
Okay.
Because first of all, we ran through quarterbacks and head up until Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And up until Bruce Arians, we've ran through quarterbacks and head coaches like I changed pairs of socks.
Well, yeah. But you can't even say that about BA either, because BA wasn't around here for very long.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Pump the brakes on that one.
Well, and going back to BA, I mean,
BA won a Super Bowl, but so did Gruden.
Right. And what his point is, he can't keep on changing coaches and systems and quarterbacks. It's a bad franchise. It is the Carolina Panthers. It's the reason why the Panthers are so bad right now. Yeah.
And if history, we have the proof. History tells us.
Right.
With our own history. If you up until 2020.
Yeah.
That especially that whole 2010s decade, we changed head coaches. We went after quarterback after quarterback. Here's what I'm saying is this. If we find a winning formula, which it looked like we have, then we continue that. And my thing is this. This is supposed to be a cleanup year for the Bucs. Right?
Yep.
We were strapped in cap hell, so we couldn't sign anybody. We're still paying our credit cards from the Super Bowl year. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at things
we get it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, if you think about it, we didn't have opportunity to sign any players. You know what I mean? We basically had to go with what we had.
Yep.
You did, but hold on. But what you had wasn't all that bad, especially from the nucleus. The offensive line was your biggest question mark. It wasn't defense.
Right.
It definitely wasn't wide receiver. And you have an offensive coordinator, albeit he was the 13th interview. He was known to run the football. You have a running back. So your question was offensive line and how was the quarterback play going to be? You could have plugged you behind center with Godwin and help here, Peter.
Evans.
Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And you're going to have some term of success. Every pundit around this country had this team winning no more than 4 or 5 games. That was ludicrous.
Yeah.
And we won 9.
You won 9.
Here's what I'm saying about the free agents. Okay. So to me, we had the offensive line, especially with the run game, especially running in the middle and particularly, we struggled with all season long. Hell, we struggled with that today.
Yep. You're right.
We basically had to roll with the punches and go with whatever we had.
And to that point, Trevor, you also had to depend on younger guys like a Yaya Diaby, like a Kalijah Cansey, like an Itzian. You had to depend on players that are unproven, and still, you're able to be very productive. And I tell you right now, the future is bright. I know the future is now with them making the playoffs, being in the Bucs. But with the Kalijah Cansey, with the Yaya Diaby, and how they perform this year, as a Bucs fan, especially when it comes to defense, you have to be pretty excited. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah. So they're basically Sue and Jason Pierre-Paul's replacement. You know what I mean? And then here's the thing: everybody wants to talk about how bad this division is, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you do your research, you'll see there's other divisions in the NFL over the years that have played in terrible divisions and don't get the kind of crap that we get.
Sure.
Think about it.
Yep.
When Aaron Rodgers played for the Packers.
Can't say his name on the show.
Terrible. That division was terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, the AFC East when Tom Brady was there. Yeah. That division was terrible. Okay. And it's another division I forgot. Oh, the NFC East.
Yes.
Okay, the Cowboys, up until Philly got good, that division's been terrible. And none of those teams got the kind of crap that we're getting right now. You know what I mean? And then if you look at it like this, we got to enjoy these days. At one point, we had to compete against a prime Matt Ryan, a prime Cam Newton, a prime Drew Brees. That's hell. That's tough duty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're finally able to start consistently winning now, and we just gotta appreciate it. And then the fans that want to sit here and talk crap about how bad our division is, okay, if they don't like it so much, go find another damn team.
There you go.
Because I'm getting tired of hearing about that.
I love it, Trevor. Thanks a lot for the passion. Use that second call. Let me go ahead and give you the air horn.
All right, y'all have a great day.
Yeah,
go
man.
Bucs.
Go Bucs. Absolutely. Harry, I know you got to get out of here because you got to watch this game. So go ahead and promote yourself here on the Sports Web.
You know what? Nothing really much to promote. See you guys for the playoffs. Keep rooting for your teams. And as I always say, keep your bets low and your returns high. But most importantly, two things. Not three like Peter has. Go Bucs, and how about the Bears beat the brakes off of this Green Bay Packers? Wouldn't it be sweet if Jordan Love misses not 1, 2 years in a row? I would love it. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Talk to you later.
All right, good stuff there. Update the score here. Washington and Dallas are tied at 7. Of course, you're watching that game because if Dallas loses, then they're going to be the first round opponent that the Bucs play. And Philly, of course, has the opportunity to win the NFC East. So we'll keep you abreast of that situation as it follows. And of course, open phone lines if you want to get in on the evolution. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to read the comments, take as many phone calls as we can. I know there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that are very passionate about this win today, even though, once again, it was an ugly win. It's a big-time win, but let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Sports Web.
Hey, what's up, baby? It's your boy Franco, your boy J-Buck, baby.
Oh, let's go on.
What's up, brother?
What's going on, buddy? Give me your thoughts here, Mr. Franco and Mr. I know Jay Buck is with you. We saw, Mr. Jay Buck, that you were eating some Bojangles or drinking something.
Peter, well, first off, Peter, before I go further,
yes,
I need it because I don't want to say nothing. Am I allowed to curse?
Well, I tell you right now, I'll allow you to curse if you guys jump on the video. Is there any way you guys can jump on the video right now?
Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me.
All right. I'm gonna send these guys a video link here so they can jump on, give us the experience of the game. J Buck, Franco here. Love these guys, big time Bucs fans on the evolution. Stand by, guys. Let me go ahead and send that link out there as we're going to be talking to Bucs fans today. And again, you got to keep things in perspective. And these are, diehard Bucs fans that, love this whole atmosphere of what is going on with this team right now. And we'll see how it goes, because at the end of the day, and I know I continue to say this, all you got to do is get in, right? I mean, get in, and you don't know what's going to happen because, the NFL is a week-by-week league. We've seen it. And people say, well, you shouldn't struggle versus the Carolina Panthers. Dallas right now is struggling with the Washington Commanders. Why? Philly last week loses to the Arizona Cardinals, have no business of it, but it's the National Football League. It's a week-by-week league. So I sent that to Jay Buck there. Of course, he was on camera with, drinking the Bojangles. I don't know what he was drinking, lemonade or whatever he was drinking. Saw our guy out there. And, of course, Franco, Mr. Victory Monday here. Let's get these guys on here. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, guys. I got it. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. These guys right here on the sports web. Welcome. And I got to ask you here, how are you feeling? 3-time divisional champs, Mr. J Buck and Franco. You got to feel good about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right?
6 total.
Yes.
6 total.
Yes.
6.
Yes.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. 6-time NFC South division champion. But hey, it is the rest in a row. 3 times straight.
Yeah.
Hey, amazing feeling sitting here with my brethren. Hey, 3 times.
Yeah.
3 straight. Hey,
Yeah.
2023 NFC South Championship. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Absolutely. And Mr. Victory Monday himself, Franco, right there. Can you give? Yes, I know. Can you give us a little preview of that Victory Monday celebration song that everybody has come to love?
Hold on, Pete.
Yes,
Pete. Let me tell you something, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It hit a little different when you do it 3 times straight. I'm feeling real good. I'm thankful for another Victory Monday, and I'm trying to ad lib. I don't mean to hold y'all show up.
No, you ain't hold my show up.
J Buck know what I'm doing, baby. Hold on. He coming. We loading. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
Hey.
Love it.
Hey. Yellow. Hey. Frankie, baby. Hey. 1, 2, 3. Ain't no Monday. Like Victory Monday. You don't got another one.
Yellow.
Tell him, Frankie, baby. 3 straight. 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 3. Kings of the South. Yellow. Ain't no Monday. Like Victory Monday. We don't got another one. Sing it, baby. Yellow. Hey. Hey, Pete, it feels good. Let me tell you something, man. And I'm going to tell all of Buck Nation.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everybody in Buck Nation feel the same way. We talked about this the other day when we was on the podcast. It's a little more personal with the Eagles. I wanted the Eagles. I'm ready for them. I want the Eagles.
Well, and I think there's a lot of Bucs fans that want the Eagles because of their history. And then on top of it, guys, and we're on with Jay Buck and, of course, Mr. Victory Monday celebration himself, Franco here on the Evolution. The way the Eagles have played lately, they haven't necessarily been playing their best football. And we've seen, guys, the Bucs play their best football. And I think certainly the Eagles with that back end are certainly beatable. Do you agree?
Hey, I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%. I've been watching the Eagles closely, and my thing where Hurts, the Jalen Hurts is just it just doesn't seem the same. That I'm sensing this disconnect between him and AJ Brown, and that's just on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, in my opinion, there's some holes on the defense. Yeah. And I just hope that this would be, if we end up playing the Eagles, for the playoffs, I think this is going to be where Canellis can really, truly
supplant himself as a true, not only offensive coordinator, but a play caller. I'm just curious to know what wrinkles that Canellis is going to find, with against the Eagles defense if we end up playing the Eagles, because the wrinkles are there. They are there.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
But needless to say, hey, before I don't want to jump too far or whatever ahead, and I know my brother or whatever gonna back me up on this. And I'm finna say this on your show, Peter. I want all of the thousands of people that watch the sports web that's just as much of a fan of it as me and my brother. I'm gonna say this. Antoine Winfield Jr. is this year NFL 2023 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Ain't nothing else to talk about.
That's it. You're exactly right.
NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Period.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, and again, let's talk about him, guys, because he has been the most consistent factor, especially when it comes to, making critical plays, whether it's a sack, whether it's an interception. He's getting up there, surpassing John Lynch today for a defensive back.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it goes back to not giving up on that play. Talk about that. You were there. What are you guys seeing? It looks like the Panthers are going to score a touchdown with DJ Shark there.
Listen, man, and see, Pete, that's the thing, because that's not the first play that Antoine Winfield has had like that this season.
Correct.
I'm not talking about his career. I'm talking about this season.
Yes.
He had a play like that early on this season where he stopped somebody from scoring. Literally, he did it twice in two games against the Falcons. He did that twice. One in Ray J.
Yep.
That game in Ray J.
Two times.
Against the Falcons. He made that play twice in the same game. We're not talking about the season. He made that play twice in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, my thing is, it's five people. Hold on, Boogie. Before you go there, Pete, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Because what we've broken this thing down to as far as the Pro Bowl, it's not like the old Pro Bowl games where we went off of stats and we went off what you really did throughout the season, and it was actually a game that we enjoyed watching because we know them boys gonna go out there like Deshaun Taylor's laying people out at Pro Bowl games. What is it about this whole popularity thing, even if it is based off of popularity, that has Buda Baker as a safety on top of Antoine Winfield?
No idea.
What have we heard about Buda Baker this entire season?
Nothing.
That will put him on top of Antoine Winfield as a safety that should represent with the NFC in the Pro Bowl. And Pete, if you don't mind, if I add to what it is that he's saying, even if it comes down to the whole popularity thing, even if let's go with that narrative. If the Pro Bowl go with the popularity contest or whatever, at least there'll be some type of stats that kind of support this whole popularity perception or whatever.
Right.
Buda Baker has no stats, none whatsoever, to support this popularity division. And we gonna even go back, and I was just sharing this with Franco not even 10 minutes ago. Even when it come down to the solo tackles, Antoine Winfield have, I think, 30 more solo tackles than Buda Baker.
Yes.
And that ain't including the forced fumbles, the INTs, the sack. We talking about Buda Baker's top stat. Antoine Winfield Jr. have 30 more solo tackles than what Buda Baker got. So even if it come down to the whole popularity thing, at least there is some type of stats or plays that can kind of sort of support this whole popularity. Buda Baker ain't even got that. Hold on, baby. To everybody that's support my boy Peter Blake on Sports Web, this commentary is brought to you in part by Pirates Untamed, the brothers of J-Buck and Franco. Shouts out my boy Peter Blake. We are smoking My Father cigars, The Judge,
and we are sipping on Maker's Mark in support of our Buccaneers, and this is our victory stick. We spoken on that Carolina pack today. Yes, sir. Hey, Peter.
Yes.
Now, when it comes like one thing about me, y'all know, I live and breathe, or we live and breathe Buck ball. And I enjoy talking ball with any and everybody because I just know there are people just as much, if not more passionate than me. But it's at least 5 people that when I talk Buck ball with, it send me in a trance, or it take me to a whole nother place because I respect certain people football IQ. Old school. Derek Foreigner is somebody who come to mind. Blake Anthony is somebody that come to mind. Peter, you're one of the ones that I enjoy talking football with. Rocky, and now one of my personal favorite. What's my boy, the Greek. It's just certain people I just enjoy talking ball with. Peter, and I understand that this is your show. I'm really curious to know your honest opinion about, actually remove the fan. Remove the fan. Your honest, unbiased perspective as it relates to the type of season that Antoine Winfield Jr. is having.
I mean, I think
got to hear it.
I think to me, it's going to go down as one of the greatest that nobody talks about because of this team's record. If he were on the Baltimore Ravens, people would be raving about it, what he does individually, not only with sacks, with interceptions, but causing fumbles. How many fumble recoveries, how many forced fumbles has he had this year? We're talking about a legitimate man that was up for a player that was up for a contract extension and is absolutely earned that. And he's doing it at a safety position. And I think it goes back, guys, to what Harry the Greek said. Look at what John Lynch had in front of him. Look at what the Bucs have in front of them. Some unproven players. I'm not saying they don't have the talent, but what he's doing in that back end to make a difference at the safety position. We're not talking about a linebacker. We're not talking about a defensive tackle. We're not talking about a defensive end. We're talking about a safety at this point, making all these type of plays and continues to make those type of plays. So to answer your question, I think his this season is going to go down as one of the greatest that nobody talks about, simply because they're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and they had 9 wins this year, which, by the way, guys, they could have more than 9 wins. They could have had the Houston game. You could have had the first Atlanta game, but that's neither here nor there. You win 3 straight.
I projected it 12 wins this year.
There you go. And I projected 10 wins, and I think they could have had that. And, the effort last week against the Saints wasn't great, but I tell you right now, the most consistent thing has been Antoine Winfield Jr. With that being said, they put you on camera today, and I think we lost you there for a moment. They put you on camera today with the Bojangles Cup. Go ahead and explain that. What were you drinking? What were you sipping out of that? What's going on, my friend? You're becoming a superstar here, not only on the sports web, but, all over national media, as you should. And I think we lost them. I think we lost the sound there. You guys get okay. So we'll go back to them in just a moment. But yeah, Bucs fans right now. Pirates Untamed. Thanks a lot for coming on. We'll try to get them back on here in a moment. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So Bucs fans out and about in Charlotte. You got to love that. Let's go back out to these guys here. Can you hear me?
Sorry about that. We had technical difficulties. Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
I want to say something, man.
Sure.
You think about legacy.
I think we're having some trouble there. I can't hear you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We're losing sound. So go ahead. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what's going on with their tech. My tech is kind of crazy right now. So we'll try to get back with them in just a little bit. We'll get those guys on as they're out and about. So who knows about their, Wi-Fi and everything like that. But, Bucs fans, you're able to call in here. You're able to video in here if you want to. I know how passionate you are. 3-time NFC South champions. Let's talk about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Jeff says, go Bucs, NFC South champions 3 years in a row. Mike, 6-time NFC South champions. All right, let's try one more time. Let's get these guys back on here.
Sorry about that, Pete. Hey, hold on. To everybody that's joining in, we want to apologize. You know, everybody want to chime in about this game. We apologize. Hey, Pete, but what I was going to comment you about is this. What is your mindset on legacy? Antoine Winfield Sr. was a dog. You understand what I'm saying? So how much do you think that impacts his son play? Think about this. Michael Pittman Jr. Was on his way to a playoff game last night. We saw that game. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at these dogs that came before their sons. And how do you think that plays a part in their sons playing the legacy? Like we got what my boy used to play for the Colts.
They used to play for the Colts.
Peyton Manning.
No, who used to throw to? The receiver.
Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, how do you think that'll play? Like, how do you think these guys with as far as legacy?
Yeah.
I think Antoine Winfield is living up to his father's legacy because his father was a dog.
Well, I think he's actually better than his father at this point. I mean, as crazy as it is to say, guys, he's 25 years old. He's only scratching the surface because he's not in his prime of his career yet. He's about to go into that prime of his career. He's about to earn a second contract. Jason Light on line one, of course. I don't know how much he's going to get paid money, but pay that man. I definitely think he's been better than his father. And look, that's tough, right? You got to live up to that. Winfield Sr. was a good player and played for a lot of teams and played consistently. And Winfield Jr., I think, has surpassed him. So, to answer your question right now, legacy-wise, when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys, look at the number. Surpassing John Lynch with tackles. I mean, that's a Hall of Famer. Playing like Rondé Barber, making the type of plays that Rondé Barber. Is he Rondé Barber yet? No, but he has that opportunity to be that legacy right now. He could go down as one of the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer defenders, let alone one of the best players of all time if he continues on this track.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing today, Pete, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I had a big fear. My boy J Buck, he always called these trap games.
Yes.
And my biggest fear today was seeing 13 walk on that field today and having the fear that might be the last time we see 13 on the field as a Buccaneer. I hope and pray to God that that's not the case.
Right.
And I hope he ends his career as a Buccaneer. I hope Jason Light finds a way to make that happen.
They will. They will.
And what they will. The thing about it is, a lot of people don't realize, even going into this season, everybody was shitting on the Buccaneers. They was like, without Brady, what y'all gonna do? And I kept telling people, I'm like, listen, man, the core of this team is still here. The core of this team is still here.
Yeah.
We have the pieces to make it happen. I have no fear of the Philadelphia Eagles. Hell, I didn't fear them when we played them in the regular season.
Right.
If you go back to that game, what killed us in that game was their running attack.
Right.
And your boy Brown and Pete, you can go back and watch the film. Brown pretty much ran the same route the entire game.
Yep.
He ran the same fucking route. Now, granted, it killed us.
Yep.
But he ran the same route the entire game and murdered our ass. If Todd Bowles can find a way to kill that, I don't give a fuck about. Oh Lord, wait, can I say fuck?
It's okay. It's acceptable. I'll allow it. I'll allow the passion. Go ahead.
I don't give a fuck about them plays. And like I said, Pete, when they was going through the topsy-turvy thing with the Eagles and the Cowboys going back and forth, even me and my brother discussed this, talk about the Cowboys and the Eagles. I told him, real talk, personally, it's a personal thing with Bucs fans and the Eagles. I wanted the Eagles, and I'm glad we got them. We gonna bust their ass in Ray J first round. Y'all better bank on it. Go to Vegas and bank on it.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff.
My brother said what he said, and I approve that message.
I got to ask you really quick, and then we'll get you out of here, guys. We appreciate the time here on The Evolution. Give us the atmosphere out there, a lot of Bucs fans, and then furthermore, you're Mr. Superstar here, J Buck, with the Bojangles Cup. Well, go ahead and explain yourself here.
Well, first and foremost, I want to make one thing clear. That Bojangles sweet tea was fire. It was fire. It was fire, first and foremost. As far as the atmosphere, I never have the past 3 times I've been in what is it, US Bank, whatever the name of that stadium is. I never
Raymond James.
Raymond James
North
East. I never have a good experience in that stadium. The fans are horrible. The staff is horrible. The security is horrible. Every single year. This is not one of my favorite stadiums. Not the city, on the other hand. I enjoy the city of Charlotte. I enjoy the nightlife in Charlotte. I enjoy the food. I give kudos to the Charlotte, North Carolina, also. But as far as the stadium, this 2 years, the past 2 years have been horrible. It has been horrible. This is not one of my favorite stadiums. The only reason why I come, because this is my second year in a row, or whatever. Second year in a row that I have been to every single regular season game. So as a fan, I'm proud of that, but I cannot stand this stadium.
Peter Blake, on a positive note, we came in this stadium. We did what we had to do. We got the dub. That Atlanta Falcons and Saints game don't even matter. We got the dub. NFC South champions 3 years straight.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I need every Buck fan, get y'all ass up. Bring y'all ass to Raymond James next week. We got a motherfucking playoff game to support our boys. Let's go get that dub, because we going to get that dub. Believe that. And we're going to celebrate another Victory Monday next week in the playoffs on to the divisional round. Let's get it, baby. Sports
Love it.
Yeah, bitch.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff, guys. Thanks a lot
Love
for
you,
coming on The Evolution. Love you, too. We'll see you maybe Wednesday night here. Get on. As, passionate Bucs fans. Love them. Love you guys. I get it. A little bit of cursing. It's okay. Sorry about that. It happens. Open phone line 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Damn It Jim using a second call. Jim, welcome to The Evolution. What's on your mind, boss?
I love seeing you call J Buck and Victory Monday.
Yes. I mean, and that's become kind of a staple here. If you're a Bucs fan in Bucs Nation, and I love bringing that excitement in that song in itself on the sports web. I even like joining along and singing a little bit. I can kind of have a little bit of a voice there.
Trying to sing along.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? And I think you got to sing along because, this year has been an up and down roller coaster. It really has, Jim. I mean, kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's been up and down, man. I'm glad we figured it out.
Yeah,
make it. I know it wasn't no easy game to watch. This one wasn't, but
yes,
we played some good defense, huh?
Yeah, you played some great defense.
What
You're
about
exactly
old
right.
Bowl defense you always talk about, huh?
Yeah, well, and I tell you right now, and I've been one that was been very, very critical of how this defense hasn't done enough, how they've given up too many yards in the passing game, how they've given up too many big plays. But when it comes down to it, you saw a couple big plays today, but when it comes down to, third down defense, they're able to get off the field. When it comes to sacks, they got a couple sacks there. Yaya Diaby comes to mind. Again, Antoine Winfield Jr. comes to mind. When it comes to turnovers, they cause turnovers. I mean, that is a top 10, top 5 defense. And I don't necessarily think they've been like that all year long. But when you look at the numbers, 6th against the run, they gave up 130 yards of rushing today. Not necessarily, the best. But they're able to keep this team out of the end zone. They're able to keep them off the board. And when you need a play by somebody that changes the momentum of the game, you go to Antoine Winfield Jr. And again, he not only did it against the Saints earlier on. Remember that game? He did that because that changed the fortune of the game. He did it against the Falcons to give that Bucs offense the opportunity to score some points there. And once again, he did it against the Carolina Panthers to keep them off the board. So it's been a usual occurrence by Mr. Winfield Jr., and there's just not enough you can say about this player who's been just tremendous.
Yeah, he put in a lot of work, and it's like they don't respect any of the Bucs players. We don't go Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yeah,
Mike Evans need more respect.
Yeah,
it's a lot of them. Hey, we can just keep naming.
Yep, yeah, great. And I don't think everybody's saying Evans, and I know they're worried about it. Keep in mind it may be 54's last time in a Buccaneer uniform during the regular season, and I have faith in Jason Light. I have faith in this administration that they will keep the players that they need to keep, that they will get that contract done with Mike Evans, that they will get that contract done with Levante David. Devin White made some plays. I don't think White is coming back. I think you've seen the last of him. Most likely that game next week could be the last time you see him, but I don't think that's going to get done. They will take care of their players that they feel deserve to be taken care of, namely a Winfield Jr., namely a Tristan Wirfs. They will take care of those players, and I have faith that this administration will be able to do that in the future. What else?
Hey, do you think the offensive coordinator get that offense together like it was pumping like them 4 games?
I don't know. I don't know what to think about it because it hasn't been good lately. Whether it's Baker that's hurt, it's whether and I watch the game usually with my mom. My mom says this, and it drives me crazy, but she's so correct about it. Love you, Mom. They're not executing. They weren't executing today because you can call the plays that you have. You have that deep shot down the field, but you got to hit that. And whether it's Mike Evans, cradling the ball, or it's Baker Mayfield making a better throw at that point, I think it's more on Baker making a better throw. You got to execute that play because that's the right play call. I mean, that's what it comes down to. We could sit here and bang on Dave Canales and Todd Bowles for their offensive and defensive calls, but if you have players that are not executing, as my mom would say, it doesn't matter.
Right. I think Baker need to use his check downs. I seen his check down sneaking out there a couple times.
Agree with that. And again, that's maybe Baker trying to do too much and take what the defense gives you. Stop trying to force it. And there were, again, a couple times, too many times today where Baker Mayfield got away with some ill-advised throws and possible turnovers that could have changed the momentum of this game. Jim, anything else?
Oh, no, man. I hope we keep this train going for at least get one of these playoff games. If not, keep on going, man.
That's it. Keep on going, and you're going to have an opportunity as my streaming has gone out for some reason, so I don't know what's going on here, Spectrum, but you need to get it on. So I don't have any update on the score. We'll have to worry about that when we're done here on the Evolution. Appreciate the call, Jim.
All right.
We'll get that sound effect eventually. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go and read some of these comments as there are lots of comments here. I don't want to neglect you, but we've had video calls here. We've had plenty of calls. I'm asking for calls. I love the reaction. I love the engagement. So get on the phone line if you want to call. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers clinch the NFC South. Does not sound good. 3 years in a row beating the Carolina Panthers 9-0. So definitely want to hear from you Bucs fans. So let me go back out to the text messages here. 3 years in a row. Mike COC Winfield Jr. with a statement game. Agree. Mike D. King Winfield Defensive Player of the Year. Anthony Richardson, they won the weakest division in the NFL. It doesn't matter. It's a division that you win. You would be sitting here banging on the Bucs, Anthony Richardson, if they lost to a 2-win Panther team, and you know it. And you would also be screaming at the top of the rooftop that they need to fire Todd Bowles. So enough of the nonsense now. Come on. You know I'm right. I still think we need to fire Bowles if we lose in the first round. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. I don't know how it happens. Because you look at this team, and I understand where you're coming from when it comes to clock management and some of the things you hate about Todd Bowles, playing to lose, too conservative. He's gotten this team to perform, and the conditions of, having a cap that's out of control, where you're taking those cap hits, where you don't have the opportunity to go out in free agency and get players to help. He's had this team playing for him all year long. And then furthermore, they were an 8-win team, and now they're a 9-win team. And you know what? Some of these games this year, they could have had more wins, but they showed improvement. And I definitely think they are showing more of an improvement over last year. And that's saying a lot. Because remember, you had Tom Brady, who's the greatest of all time. And now you won with the first-year quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Now you win with everything that you had against you. So I don't think it's happening. I'm right. But I appreciate the comment as always. A fugly win, but winning, laugh out loud. Absolutely. Let's go out to Christopher Cole, AWJ for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, I don't know how you can't. How is he not in that conversation? And we were just talking about it. Legacy. I think more people nationally would be paying attention to what Winfield Jr. is doing if the Bucs were winning more. Is that a fair assessment? I think it definitely is. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm right. I also think we need to consider putting in Trask if Baker isn't 100%. And that's my point, and I'm going to get back to that point in just a moment. Let me go back out to Ed here using your second call. Ed, welcome to the Evolution.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Bowles is going back unless a marquee name coach is available. I don't see any reason to do anything other than keep him for now.
Right. Well, and again, I'll say this. I don't even think it's a marquee name. I just think that Todd Bowles has showed enough improvement this year from an 8-win team to a 9-win team. They've had a game. They had a big game they had to win against Green Bay. They win that. They had a big game that you have to win against Atlanta. You win that. Remember, you're 4-7. You win that game versus Atlanta in Atlanta, that's a big win. You win against Green Bay when your backs are against the wall, that's a big win. We saw the Glazers in their embrace of Bowles. You have this team winning. And again, they went on that 4-game winning streak in December at the best time. And you go 8-7. I get it. A lot of people will say, well, they lost to the Saints. There's a bad taste in your mouth. Well, you win today. Okay, and that's one of the most
yes, it does. It sucks that we lost to the Saints. Nobody hates the Saints more than I do.
Right.
And part of the reason why Baker Mayfield had a bad game today was because of the Saints doing what they do best, which is bounty gate.
Yep.
And try to take out Baker Mayfield for the second time this season.
Right.
The NFL needs to crack down on this. I don't know why. The writing's on the wall.
The
reputation is there. Why are they not doing anything about it?
Yeah.
And today, Baker, in my opinion, there's a couple of plays there that he got hit late. He got roughed.
And I think you could definitely talk about also the punts are getting hit late. He got hit late, and there was no call in the game. And it's just the way it is with the officials. Honestly, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's just what it is sometimes.
Now, when Baker got hit in that first game, I thought it was Cam Jordan, but you said it was somebody else.
Yeah.
Again, with the Saints, they did call that.
Tyrann Mathieu, yes.
Go to goal.
Yes, correct.
So they did call it. Well, it was pretty blatant. How could you not call it?
Well, yeah. And then Tyrann Mathieu's been known for that. And, you know, you can't, whether it's late or not, the quarterback has thrown the ball. He's got rid of the ball. You got to hold up with the momentum. And instead, you take a big-time shot. And Baker, of course, wasn't the same during that play. I don't think he was the same today. And it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be healthy versus the Eagles. But you heard the sideline reports that Bowles and the offensive staff thought that Baker was fine. So I don't know. I think he was a little bit off today.
I don't think so.
Right. I think he's a little bit off today. And I think on top of it, you saw him limping with the ankle. I mean, a guy could barely run, and he's still able to convert, third downs for first down. So that's great in itself. And that just shows the heart of Baker Mayfield. Say whatever you want to about the numbers, but that guy's heart, he's going to give you everything he freaking has to win games this year. And he's been the main difference for this Bucs offense, in my opinion.
Me too.
All right.
Me
what
too,
else?
definitely.
What else, Ed?
That's really about it. Have a good night. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Victory Monday coming tomorrow.
Yes, Victory Monday coming tomorrow. Love it. Gotta love it. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. 0391. It's 727-255-0391. Michael Hulk says, painfully won. Michael, thanks a lot for all the Facebook star contributions. As always, we need to get more Michael Hulks here. Facebook stars are available. Give to the effort if you like the content. Also, give to YouTube super chats. As, I kind of like the appreciation from your fans calling in, but also, a little monetary. Bring back JPP. I'm right. AWJ31 equals MVP, especially for this team. Mike, forget the Pro Bowl BS, Defensive Player of the Year. Megan, finally, where has Joe been? I mean, that was a big time play there by Joe Tryon-Shoyinka later on in the game, later in the fourth quarter, where it looks like the Panthers are going to score or put some points on the board, and he causes a fumble that is recovered by Greg Gaines. So you're exactly right. Where has that been? Why haven't you seen more of that? You saw Shaq Barrett get some pressure, not able to get Bryce Young down, which was disappointing. Big time long run. But the Bucs defense, once again, slams the door and pitches a shutout. And that's what you got to do. So good stuff, Megan. Thanks a lot for the comment.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the Trask stuff because I have said this from the very beginning, and I'm going to continue to say it. This is a clear indication for me. And I guess I'll get back to it. Let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I'm sorry. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Alexander calling from Winhaven.
What's going on, Alexander? How you feel about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers clinching the NFC South for 3 years in a row, beating the Carolina Panthers 9-0? Go, my friend.
Great accomplishment, poor execution.
Agree. Completely agree, Alexander.
I would use the word disgusted by our coaching staff for watching. They pretty much would rather Baker Mayfield be crawling to the sidelines and risking his health, knowing that we got a playoff game next week.
Well, and I think this is what it comes down to. And I try to put this out there. People calling for Kyle Trask to come in because Baker's not 100%. And you knew coming into the game. I think it is a clear indication of how much confidence Todd Bowles and this coaching staff has in Kyle Trask. And furthermore, I think it's a clear indication of how much the organization has confidence in Trask because they had an opportunity to give him the job. They go with Tom Brady. They bring him back. And I get it. It's Tom Brady. People saying you're crazy for thinking this. But look, if he's the guy, if he's your franchise guy here, Alexander, you go with him. And you didn't. He wasn't able to beat out Blaine Gabbert as a backup. He's had opportunity after opportunity, not only in the off season here to unseat Baker. He hasn't been able to do that. You know that Baker's not 100%. He doesn't even get the start today. And then you see Baker limping around, and they still don't start Kyle Trask. And I don't think they could because he hasn't had enough snaps in the National Football League. And are you really putting him in this type of situation where you could have a turnover? Because we know with young quarterbacks, there's bumps in the road. And I think it just shows where the confidence level in this organization and also in this coaching staff and what they have in Kyle Trask. I just don't think it's there. And Baker's the guy. Baker's going to continue the guy unless, knock on wood, Baker has a major injury that knocks him out. You're going to have to go with Kyle Trask, but I don't see it happening. They're going to go with Baker. You're going to go with the girl that you went to the dance with, and they're going to go with Mayfield.
I assume you're correct because I honestly don't have no other answer for it.
Right. I mean, there's no other answer for it, Alexander. I mean, I don't know. And I know there's a lot of people saying you want to see what he's got and the chance. They just don't want to do it. And they don't have the confidence in him to put him out there because if they did, they would put him out there in that situation today versus the Carolina Panthers. They don't.
It's not even seeing what he's got at this point. My thing is the last put away drive we had, right?
Yeah.
Baker take one more good shot.
Yeah.
And he gets checked out.
Yeah.
And he may be able to miss next week. And then what?
Well, and then on top of it, you're exactly right. You look at the Jacksonville Jaguar game where it's trash time. And why do you have Baker Mayfield in there? And still you put him in there when you could take him out and see what, Kyle Trask has. They're not confident in him. And I don't think that confidence is going to change. And listen, don't be surprised that, if there is a quarterback in that draft in April that falls to them and I know a lot of people want Michael Penix Jr., and maybe that's a pipe dream, but let's say he does fall there. Even if you re-sign a Baker Mayfield to a contract extension, don't be surprised if they draft a quarterback and rid themselves of Kyle Trask, in my opinion.
And I think you're correct. I mean, overall, I'm happy we won the division.
Right.
We got into the playoffs.
Correct.
We had to win regardless, but it just the hits back to back. It's just tough to watch because it's like I don't feel like he's gonna have enough rest to even be 100% next week, and when it's a playoff game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
that's what you worry about. You worry about how bad he's hurt, how bad is the ankle. He was limping noticeably in this game. Still had the mobility to convert a third down, but you're kind of wondering, that's the reason why he struggled all day long. And then it comes down to the rib. That rib situation, you got to have the proper mechanics in order to throw the deep ball. Maybe that's the reason why he wasn't on his deep ball accuracy today, because of that rib injury. I'm just throwing it out there, but you just don't know. But the Bucs had more confidence. Think about this. The Bucs have more confidence in going with, a less than 100% Baker Mayfield over 100% Kyle Trask. That tells me everything you need to know. Correct.
Now, on a positive note,
yes.
Winfield saved the day to me. Their missed field goal helped as well, but that they score right there. We had no momentum. To be honest with me, we had no momentum all game.
Right.
If you ask me.
Right.
We just was going. Like,
yeah,
you're
just going. I mean, you had a couple plays there with Cade Otton, who definitely contributes today on the slip screen there for 20 yards. You had Godwin convert, a big time third down later on in the game, but the offense was just, it was tough to watch. And again, I know there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that were disappointed because they really wanted to whoop up on the Panthers. But you'll keep in mind, the Panthers are a top 10 defense in this league. As crazy as it sounds, they are a top 10 defense. They're very tough when it comes to the passing game. And they got a considerable amount of pressure on Mayfield today, which caused him to also not be as effective as he usually is.
And another thing, a lot of fans was trying to call out Dave Canales today. Today wasn't even one of his worst games.
Right.
We had a lot of poor execution more than anything.
Correct.
Evans could have put more effort on that deep pass. I honestly feel like that could have been a very catchable pass.
Yeah.
We had some drop passes. The only thing I dislike that Dave Canales is constantly trying to do is this trickery, pre-motion, toss around, double pass, or however you want to call it.
Yeah, we saw some of that today, and that didn't work out to their advantage.
And we've been trying that the past couple weeks.
Yeah, it hasn't worked. It definitely has not worked. I like the game plan to come out and pass the ball at first. Then you get away with it. You get stifled, whether it's a penalty or whether you're not accurate enough. I mean, I felt good about coming into this game, especially at the start of it. And it's disappointing because you want to see this offense at least score a touchdown. They're one of the only teams besides the Panthers and I believe the Giants that have not scored an opening score touchdown on their opening drive. Do you know that?
Correct.
I mean, that's disappointing because, those are the terrible teams in the league. So you've got to get that under control. And I hope you're able to do that. And you need to do that versus a good team like the Eagles, because you may be able to get away with that versus the Panthers or these other, mediocre to awful teams in the league, but you're not going to be able to do that versus a good team like the Eagles, like the Cowboys. And we'll update the score here in just a moment if my damn streaming will come back on again. So
one thing for you.
Yes.
After today's win, regardless of how it was, say we get steamrolled this week. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Is everybody's job still safe? Have Baker still get his extension? Todd Bowles still safe? Everybody safe?
I think they are to a certain degree. Again, you're going to have to evaluate it. I want to give you a straight answer. You can't get steamrolled, but I do think that Todd Bowles has earned another year here. And I also think with Baker Mayfield during the regular season, the 28 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, that he's earned a contract extension. Now, I don't know how much. I think maybe 3 years, $75 million, $20 to $25 million a year in the Geno Smith neighborhood per se. And I definitely think Baker has earned a comeback player of the year. But if they do get steamrolled, I still think they've earned. I still think they both come back. But
regardless of all that,
there is a hesitation. Believe me, there is some type of hesitation with what I'm saying at this point. But yes,
we get to the draft and Penix is on the board that I pick. Do we pick him?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt for me. I mean, if I'm the general manager, I'm running to that podium because I think he's not only a talented quarterback, one of the most talented quarterbacks in this upcoming 2024 draft. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft, and I'm not sure if he's going to be there. He gives you everything you want. And then on top of it, he's mature. He's 24 years old. He's been through those adverse situations, which is what you want to get with the quarterback. Not, two knee injuries there. He's a player that's won everywhere when he's had the opportunity. And if he wins a national championship, but I don't think they beat Michigan. I think Michigan goes on to win. But just his accuracy, he's got the body of work. He's got the deep ball accuracy. If he's on the board where the Bucs are picking, I don't see how you pass him up.
I definitely agree. It's just that from what I'm seeing so far, the championship game is tomorrow for college, but
sure.
But what I'm saying is, regardless of what happened, he's not going to be. They're saying he's not going to be a first round pick based on that injury.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I would go ahead and test that theory because if he's on the board where the Bucs are picking or anybody else, I'm trading up for him. That's how good I think he's great, and he's got a great arm. He's got great athleticism. When he runs, he could still run. And this guy can just throw the ball. He could throw the ball down the field with deep ball accuracy, like 54% for the year. That's tremendous. I believe he's the best quarterback, in my opinion, in this draft. I do. So, all right. Anything else, Alexander?
No, that's all, man. It was nice talking with you today, man.
Yeah, man. Nice talking with you. Use that second call if you want to. All right. So let me go ahead and fire those cannons. Right there on the phone line. Over 2 hours right now. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So we'll read these comments. Finally, where's Joe Ben? Great stuff, Megan. Thank you. Not one touchdown. Gross. Ben, our kicker, though, solid all season. Great pickup. Chase McLaughlin, how many times do we have to say it? You laugh about special teams, but special teams are a facet of this team that's had to be there this year, especially during this game. And how many times have we seen, McLaughlin hit some big-time kicks, especially beyond 50 yards? I mean, that's the reason why you move on from a Ryan Succop in the first place, right? I don't know what happened with Mr. Punk God. That's what I call him, Jake Carmada. He's had some very questionable punts here the last couple of weeks. Needs to get that under control. But special teams all year long has been solid. Anthony Richardson, we won the weakest division. Again, Michael, not a playoff team, about to get manhandled if going against the Eagles. Trask is not the answer. That stuff has to stop. I'm right. I'm feeling less confident with Baker being banged up. Certainly a possibility. We got to go out there and execute better. Yeah, we made the playoffs, but we got a long road ahead of us. We got to fight to the end. Agree. Trade Butterfingers, Mike Evans. Is it just me or can anyone actually hear Peter H? Blake, I'm here. Hopefully you can hear me now. Jags will be gone. We'll go home. Ben says, I think Moore needs more snaps over Palmer. KR says, hey, Peter, guys, we're going to the show. AWJ needs a blank check and defensive player of the year. Great comment. I'm right. Jacksonville just totally collapsed. Seeing what an unhealthy Trevor Lawrence does to this team scares me. What an unhealthy Baker will do for us in the playoffs. Definitely think it's a great point. You kind of wonder how healthy he's going to be, but guy plays through it. He's a gamer. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Peter, this is AJ from West Palm.
What's going on, AJ? How are you doing? How are you feeling about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I feel great. But however, I want to discuss this, and people are going to get pissed off, right?
Sure, go for it.
Because we have, you can tell who the bandwagoners, the Brady bandwagoners are, because I remember the last time we won 3 NFC championships was when, like people wasn't with before the Jameis Winstons and the. Before, in between, after the John Grudens, right? There was a long stretch of time where we couldn't even do anything. The Saints ruled or the Panthers rule every single year,
or the Falcons ruled. Yes.
Oh yeah. So we had to see that for the last 10 freaking years.
Yes.
And so now you can tell all these bandwagoners they want the shiny new object. We have somebody in Baker. Todd Bowles is a really good coach. They've adjusted. Dave Canales is coming on. Listen, there are a lot of things that we need to improve on with this team. With the dead money that we were having, you can tell these are Brady. I guess the last 4 years since Brady came, all these are Brady bandwagoners. I don't care because they don't remember all the bad times where we had to watch everybody like Michael Vick killing us, or the Cam Newton's killing us, or the Drew Brees is killing us. When was the last time we won the NFC South 3 years in a row?
You never have. You haven't done it. You haven't won 3 years in a row. I mean, the consistency of this franchise, it's not great, right? I mean, there's not a great history. I mean, this goes back to the 80s. I go back to the 80s, man. That's how old I am. I'm old school. I'm 88, I'm 89, I'm 90, where, the only source when the Bucs were at home, they used to black out the games, and you had to listen to Mean Gene there. Fire the cannons with Gene Deckerhoff on, the radio, because you had no home game. And I remember, I
went to the old Sunboro as well too.
Right.
Saw Steve Weiss. I guess he was the new thing way back in the day.
Yeah, Sam Weiss. It's a new day in Tampa Bay. Yeah, coming from the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, this goes back so many years, and Bucs fans kind of forget those losing seasons, because I get it. And then Tony Dungy comes along, and you have some playoff wins there, and that's not good enough because you have an unbelievable top-notch defense, and you fire him, and you go with John Gruden, and you win a Super Bowl, and you think you're going to win multiple Super Bowls, and that's not how the NFL is. But you're exactly right. The years of losing for this franchise, so that's why I say, calm down a little bit, pump your brakes, and you know this all too well here, AC. How many losing years you had? Enjoy the wins. Enjoy these wins over division rivals. Enjoy these NFC South titles, because they're not always going to lead to a Super Bowl. That's just not how the NFL is. What you saw with
them.
Yeah,
I can tell the Brady bandwagoners, because the true Bucs. I'm not saying the true, but the Bucs fans like me and you who've been through so much suffering.
Yeah,
who've seen this. I'm 49 years old, right?
I'm 45. Yes, exactly. It's preach.
I remember, right? So everybody, and they're acting like, I guess it's the new shiny syndrome, object syndrome.
Sure.
Who's the new quarterback? Who's the new coach? And who? Listen, we have a great foundation in place. The Blazers see it. I can tell after the Green Bay game, they were happy with Tom Bowles. The body language said they're improving. Yeah. Now, do we need to get Todd Bowles? Doesn't have all his chess pieces, because he doesn't have a consistent pass rush to implement his whole defense. The offensive line, they need to be. We need to get a little bit more. The center, I don't know if the center is going to be there or not.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get more athletic on the line. We need a little bit more experience. Maul got mauled today. And Rashad White, he's a good second back. He's not an explosive back. Like, Dave Canales is still working with a handicap offense that he is. Our receivers aren't necessarily explosive. Mike Evans, he's a great route runner. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's not explosive. And we need an explosive second wide receiver.
You may need to upgrade that with speed, but I'll go back to your previous point here. I think White has done well with what he's had. Furthermore, I think if you improve that offensive line, especially that interior line, and I think Aaron Stinney, the last couple of weeks, it's been rough to watch, right? I don't know if he's your future left guard. So you go with somebody, you upgrade the left guard spot.
I don't think Hainsey is the
right. You can look at both of those positions, AC. You can look at left guard and center and upgrade that in the draft, and then see where you're at.
Rashad White, his explosiveness, he gets stopped too much in the back.
Not ready to. Well, what is that? Is that chicken or the egg? Is that the fact that he gets stopped because he doesn't have great vision, or is he getting stopped because the interior line, especially your center and left guard?
When you watch the All-22, there's a lot of vision and holes he just misses because he doesn't have the explosion. And they have to do a lot of counter. Like, it took Dave Canales the 6 games to understand the counters and do counts in different ways, because he's slow starting. Once he gets going, he's going.
Right.
But he's not a good hitting the whole vertical explosive. Like, you see Herbert. Herbert was in there in a hurry. He's explosive. He has vision. And he makes, and so you can tell the difference. I think they need a number one bat. Rashad White's he's a good bat for what he does, but I think they may want to upgrade with the back too as well. But Dave Canales is working with what he has. Todd Bowles is working with what he has. My main point is we're okay. Even if we get, we are okay.
You're okay. I mean, I think eventually fans, they get impatient, and I understand that, and you want to be better and you want to improve, and I think that's what it comes down to. At this moment with Todd Bowles and this team. Has this team improved from last year? Yeah, because the number of wins, right? They're an 8-win team. Even though they get blown out in the playoffs, or 8-win team, they win an NFC South. This year, you won 9, and you could have won more with the team that supposedly was supposed to take a step back with not having a Tom Brady and all the losses you had in the offseason. And then also on top of that, the cap hit, depending on players that are unproven, like a Kalijah Kancey and a Yaya Diaby, and of course and Etienne with that. But you've counted on those guys this year. And they've worked out for you. So I think that's what the Glazers are looking at. I think that's how you evaluate it at the end of the day. And also Jason Light is evaluating that. And just think about it for a minute. You bring back Todd Bowles. You bring back Baker Mayfield. You improve in the draft. You have more money and more funds to work with in free agency to get better. You have to feel good about it. Now, of course, Bucs fans out there will be very concerned, and as they should, about what they do with the future of Mike Evans and, of course, Levante David. So hopefully they re-sign those players. If not, then those are where your needs are going to be. And I can't fathom this offense without a Mike Evans, okay? I can't either. And I can't fathom a defense without a Levante David, because still David is your best linebacker on this team. So
I agree.
I have faith that Jason Light will get this done, and the powers that be over there will get these guys signed. Now, they're going to have more money, and again, it's going to be a better situation than it was this year, but that's why I continue to say, with old school guys like us, you're 49 years old, I'm 45 years old, we know how bad this Bucs team has been in their history. You've been through
a long time.
For a long time.
For a long time.
Yes.
And
For,
like I said,
yes.
I'm not going to apologize for today. I'm not going to apologize for being 8-9 and winning the division.
Right.
Listen, these things, the NFL is hard. No one stays on top all the time. These things are freaking hard. New England is an enigma.
Yeah.
Even Kansas City is going down now. They've been to win the division. Even there, you can tell they're declining.
Yep.
This thing is hard. The NFL is hard. And people just say, just chill, relax, enjoy the win, enjoy this. And because we can easily go back and getting a new head coach. I've seen other people, not you guys, other ventures.
Yep.
They're guessing about other new offensive coaches. This thing isn't automatic with these new coaches or these new quarterbacks.
Yep.
It's all a gamble.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Good stuff, my friend. And thank you very much for taking me back there, because who could forget, after you win the Super Bowl, you got a year of 2005 where you win.
2002, the last.
Yeah,
yes.
2002. And then you win 2005 with Cadillac Williams. And I believe it's Michael Clayton's rookie year. Or no, he's 2004. But you have Cadillac that rookie year there.
Mike Williams.
Right. Yeah. And you have Josh Freeman. I mean, so many years. I mean, you remember getting on primetime football as a Bucs fan, being excited about it, and getting your doors blown off, 56-0 or 56-14 by the Atlanta Falcons, and being embarrassed. That's why I say right now, Bucs fans, it may not seem like it's the best thing because you're winning the NFC South, which is one of the worst divisions in football, but it's really not. It's really not. You look around the NFC right now, it's up in the air, and you win is a win. And when you get into the playoffs, enjoy it. Have a drink, Bucs fans.
Peter, how many times did New England have the worst division to play in? They didn't have a quarterback all-star they had to play against in the division for about freaking 15 years.
Yes. And you think they're apologizing? Do you think Patriot fans are apologizing because the AFC East was bad?
Was bad for about 10 freaking years.
They were just better. They had the greatest of all time in Tom Brady. I mean, I'm not going to apologize for winning an NFC South. Good for the Bucs to do that. And Bucs fans, don't apologize to it. And if those stinking Saints fans and Falcon fans and Panther fans have something to say, you bring them to me. Anything else here, AC?
No, it's AJ, by the way.
AJ, I'm sorry. AJ,
Peter,
yes.
Peter, good talking to you, bro. I was on like maybe 4 years ago last time I was on, So
AJ, 4 years it takes you to call the show. AJ, don't be a stranger here on the Evolution. In fact, use that second call, my friend.
Okay, I don't want to get my high blood pressure up with these people and their unrealistic expectations and la la la. I just want to be happy. So
hey, AJ,
I just want to bring some common sense to the team.
I love it, man. Definitely don't be a stranger here on the Sports Web. We appreciate it. 4 years, man, that's way too long. Keep on calling. We're not going to be on tomorrow night because of the national championship game. I'm going to give you a break, but Wednesday night we'll be back. I expect you to be a regular caller because you definitely brought it today, AJ. All right?
All right, appreciate it, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Good stuff there. Let me go ahead and update the scores right now as Spectrum has decided for some reason my streaming has gone off. Packers 14-6 over the Chicago Bears. You have the Cowboys taking care of business 21-10 over the Washington Commanders. And the New York Football Giants get this score. Thanks a lot for showing up today, Philadelphia Eagles. This is what I'm talking about. Like, look at the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Right? And look at my eyes. They're just bugging out. Look at this. 24-0 Giants over the Eagles. So, you know, as a Bucs fan, and again, I'm going to put this in perspective. You sit here and say that the Bucs struggled versus the Carolina Panthers 9-0, and then you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, who are getting their doors blown off by the New York Football Giants 24-0. How do you think they feel right now? Tell me about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Wouldn't you like to be the Philadelphia Eagles right now if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan? I mean, look at that team where they've gone 10-1 start, and they've been absolutely. So who's to say this Bucs team, if they could get healthy, if they could play their game, if you could play some defense, who's to say you can't pull that upset off, huh? Because more than likely, the Eagles may be favored in this game. Who's to say? I'm just putting it out there. Again, it goes back to what we talked about. Get in, you don't know. Get into the dance. I don't want to be on the sideline. I want to be in that dance. I want to dance. I want to dance a little bit. I want to get the opportunity. Get the opportunity and see what happens. All right, let's see here. So let's go ahead. Jacksonville just totally collapsed, seeing what an unhealthy Trevor Lawrence does. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people are worried about. That's the reason why you put such a premium on a franchise quarterback. And you see Lawrence, ever since he's gotten hurt, he hasn't been the same effective quarterback, has he? He's been different. That offense has been different. So the concerns are valid. Let's see here. Bucs fans so excited over beating the Panthers. Yeah, they shouldn't be excited at all. They should be like you, just miserable all the time. Trask should have been in the fourth quarter. They don't have confidence. Sador, I don't have to explain this to you. You've said it millions of times. They don't have the confidence in Kyle Trask. If they did, they would play him. And people, again, keep on calling me crazy with this. But if he were your franchise quarterback, why did you bring back Tom Brady in the first place? If he were your franchise quarterback, why wasn't he able to beat out Blaine Gabbert? If he was your franchise quarterback, why wasn't he able to beat out a Baker Mayfield? If he's your franchise quarterback, why didn't you put him in a key situation? If he's your future, they're telling you everything you need to know. They don't have the confidence in him. This coaching staff doesn't have the confidence in him. Would you? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Bucs kicker is the MVP. Definitely a big-time pickup. I never said I was excited for winning it, Doofus, and is what you look like when you're too scared to call into the show. Sador, Booty Baker, the dude's been asked this year. I think he's been good. I think there's been inconsistent times, but if you look at his numbers, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, I think you'd take that, would you not? He's in the top 15 quarterbacks now, Come on. Earl says Buda Baker's overrated. I think you're talking about, okay, I don't know if you're talking about Baker Mayfield or you're talking about, I think you're talking about Buda Baker. Yeah, Booty Baker, this dude's been ass all year. I don't understand it. Give credit to Baker, says Kurt. If you've never had ribs bruised, it hurts like hell. He was definitely hurting, yet he gets the win and our defense saved us again. Agree. Absolutely agree. especially with the 2 turnovers. And that's the difference. You go back to last week, something we kind of focused on. You're winning that defensive battle, but you're also winning the turnover battle. You didn't turn over the ball 4 times like against the Saints. You turned over the ball 0 times today. Good job by the Bucs. You win the turnover battle more times than not, you're going to win. Bucs may have not had a touchdown, but we took the game hands down. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Go Bucs.
Flawless victory.
Go Bucs. Go Bucs. There you go. I love that. I knocked down my stand there, so that was kind of weird. I don't know why that came down. So there you go. Love it. Let's go out to Earl scoring 9 points when not cut in the playoffs. Agree. Ask the Eagles right now. They scored 0 points versus the Giants going into the playoff game. What kind of confidence do you think they're going to have going into Raymond James Stadium? Because that's what it's going to be. That's what it's looking like right now, unless some miraculous comeback, which I doubt is going to happen because this Eagle team today has completely checked out. Good night to the Philadelphia Eagles. And to me, if you're hoping for a first-round matchup, I think it's a matchup that you have to like at this point. Don't you? Don't you feel confident going into this game? I mean, I get it. 25-11, the first matchup on Monday Night Football. But the Bucs still stayed in that game. They still allowed them to hang out. Now you look at the team for the Philadelphia Eagles. Are they any better? I think they're actually worse. Bucs have a chance. We'll see. Offensive play calling looking like more high school coaching. Lance says we played it safe, got the W to advance. So what? Reginald, no matter what happens in the playoffs, re-sign Baker, fix the pass defense and O-line, get a third wide receiver. I like Trey Palmer, but there have been times this year, drops. He's a young receiver. I'm not ready to give up on him. But wouldn't it be nice to have a veteran number 3 wide receiver? I think that's what they envision with Russell Gage. So it makes lots of sense there, Reginald. Let's go out to Lance. I'd rather we face the Eagles. You're going to get what you want. Earl says, yeah, they played like the 1976 team today. I do not need to call Peter. He will meet at Ducky's to talk. No, we won't. We will not meet. We've never met. We've never met at Ducky's. I don't do a show at Ducky's. You're an idiot. There are no style points. Baker and Canales protected the ball today. Won a divisional game to clinch the NFC South trophy. Let's go on to Reginald now. 1977, laugh out loud. Steven, I say re-sign Baker, upgrade the O-line, pass rush, try to get King Henry or Josh Jacob. If the cap allows, that's certainly a possibility because it certainly looks like both of those running backs could be free agents. Good stuff there, Steven. Thanks a lot. Call up the show if you want to, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. 1976, we lost every game. Steven says, need to find a third option at receiver. Earl, Lance Wilson, yes, I know. 0-26. Lance, again, we need to improve our offensive line this offseason. Yeah, it hasn't been good lately. And, people want to talk about Baker's health and not necessarily being accurate. Yes, very true. But also when you get pressure in your face, I saw that today with the blitzing linebacker and Rashad White, picking it up, but basically getting, himself pushed. The defender pushing White in Baker's face. That's not going to work out too well. That offensive line has got to improve. Agree with you. And it has been a hindrance, if you will, Leo word, especially when it comes to interior line, the center and the left guard situation. We know the problems are there with right guard. I think Cody Mock has done a better job there, but he's still a rookie. But he's getting better. I think he's definitely getting better. The other positions I definitely think you need to address in the offseason. So good stuff there, Lance. Oh, yeah. Everyone, Shadow is here. Thanks a lot, Jeremiah, for tuning in as always. Basically, what you're saying is you're too scared for us to hear to talk. Yeah, I get it. Ben, all wins can't be pretty as Peter, laugh out loud. Some wins are going to be JPP's right hand ugly, but a win is a win regardless. As always, you brought it. Thank you, Ben. Let's go on to Tim. 3 NFC South championships in a row. How does it feel, Bucs fans? I mean, do I got to do it again? Do I got to do it again? Huh? Come on. Come on. B-U-C-C-A-N-E-E-R-S. Go Bucs. Love it. You got to love that. We do use Tampa's first pick in the draft. Remember, good teams find ways to win bad games. There you go. Good stuff. Jared, Joshua Dietz, man, we can't go and expect to beat Philly playing like that. Hope we will see more fire. Agree. It would be nice to get off to a fast start, and we've been talking about it all year long. Maybe the Philadelphia Eagles are that type of matchup, because if you look at them today, they have not showed up. Shut up! Let's go out to Lance O'Lyman. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Lance. Jeff says, so Coach Bowles doesn't have confidence in Baker's arm, so take him out of the damn game. Why force this failing run-heavy offense to keep Baker in the game? Because they don't have confidence in Kyle Trask. And they feel like their best opportunity to win is with Baker Mayfield, Jeff. I understand where you're coming from. Jared says, just remember, Penix is from Tampa. That he is. I don't know if he's going to be there. Sergio says, Bowles needs to leave. I doubt that's going to happen. You know I'm right. I like Baker, but I just don't trust him not being 100%. It's a fair assessment. Baker's tried all year long. He has improved. Let's get him his second season. Get the Bucs healthy, ready for this playoff game. Good stuff. Michael, as always, bringing it here. Let's go out to Tim. Last week, we were not for, I don't know what that is. Not for a quick start, I guess. Baker has bruised ribs, cracked, broken ribs, still the same pain level. I've had all three. It hurts just to breathe, not an excuse, but it can't be easy to play through, even with the shot. Plus, his ankle gets twisted early. Baker's one of the toughest quarterbacks in the league. There is no doubt about that. And this guy, he's played through injury throughout his career. He did that with the Cleveland Browns to a fault, right? They used it against him when they re-signed to Deshaun Watson, correct? I mean, he was the guy who took them to the playoffs. He's the guy who's taken the Bucs to the playoffs. So there you go. And a little redemption today, right? So he was 1-5 with the Carolina Panthers, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he gets to go back to Carolina, his former team, which, by the way, it didn't work out there, right? Whether it was play calling, the coach gets fired during the season, it didn't work out. He gets an opportunity to put it right, where. Right up there with a win, NFC South win, as we are going strong at 2 hours. Let's see here. So good stuff. Agree with you. Joshua says Winfield is a beast. Tim, last week we were not fortunate. This week we were. Agree. It's Philly. We play right. It looks like it's going to be Philly because, again, they update the score right now. The New York Football Giants 24-0 over the Philadelphia Eagles. And how about those Cowboys? 28-10 over the Commanders. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be your NFC East champions. So good for Cowboy fans out there. Bucs fans acting like they just made the Super Bowl. Jeff, I don't care how Grady Baker is. Did not carry this team just because he ran for a third down conversion. I'm not going to say he sucks, but he's not good. And Bowles needs to be fired just for keeping him in the game when he doesn't lead the offense. Y'all can't fight me if you want, but Baker did not lead this offense for more than half the season. I disagree with you. Again, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's had a lot of third down conversion plays where you need a first down. And with his mobility, if you had Tom Brady back there or a statue of a quarterback, you're not scoring as many points and you're not going to have the opportunities to convert those third downs. So, Jeff, I understand where you're coming from. I feel like you're not the biggest Baker fan, but I hate to tell you, I think Baker's going to earn a second extension. We'll see. You saw Logan Hall playing DB today. What? He wasn't playing DB? What the F was that in the secondary? So damn much. Oh, my God. Harry wants to talk about the 85 Bears. Jared says saying Baker is not good is not true. He's going to get comeback player of the year, was mentioned in the MVP hunt at one point and was the leader of this team. You can't coach that. No O-line, no running game. Baker gets it done. Just stop. Me, Sador. Ugly wins are still the same. A win. Absolutely. Good stuff. Bobby says, and next week, Evans, last game in a Bucs uniform. No. I don't think it is. Let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. After your Tampa Bay Buccaneers win today over the Carolina Panthers 9-0 to clinch the NFC South. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Eric from Lincoln, Florida. What's going on, Peter?
What's going on, Eric Moreno?
Best
Welcome.
sports talk show in all of Florida.
I love it.
Huge shout out to Peter.
Thank you. I appreciate that, my friend.
It was ugly. It wasn't pretty, but hey, a win to win.
Yeah.
get a home playoff game. Looks like it's going to be Bucs and Eagles.
Yep.
Probably. I'm looking for Sunday, but would you be surprised if they put us on Monday night?
I would be surprised what the Bucs showed last year on Monday Night Football, but nothing would surprise me about the NFL. I don't necessarily think the Bucs play that great when it comes to primetime football, but we'll see. You know, that was the Monday night game this year. The Eagles won 25-11. You know, the game wasn't necessarily that close, but the Bucs never gave up. They had opportunities in that game to make some plays. That's what you're looking at with this second matchup. Hopefully they can make those plays. With that being said, I would not be surprised, but I think they'll put somebody else on Monday Night Football to answer your question.
Maybe like Sunday at 4:30. That's why I'm.
It'd be nice. I like the Sunday at 4:30 more than anything else.
Or 1 o'clock.
And hopefully we're out there to cover it here, again, in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what else, Eric?
Just maybe this team can get hot and win, surprise some people. I mean, we have the talent. We have Wirfs and Evans, and Baker's got playoff experience. Levante has playoff. A lot of players have playoff experience, and
sure.
David and Evans have Super Bowls. Winfield. So I think we can make a surprise.
You just never know, right? I mean, the last 2 weeks have been tough to watch when it comes to offensive football because it's been offensive. But you just got to get in, right, Eric? All right, I'm gonna let you go on that. We'll go out to use that second call if you want to. Appreciate the call as always. Get healthy, my friend. That cough doesn't sound good. Let's go out to Best of the Bay. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers clinched their third division title in a row. The NFC South is theirs with a 9-0 win over the Panthers. Your thoughts, my friend? Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, welcome to the Evolution.
Brother, thanks so much. Great post-game show, Pete. But I'll tell you what, divisional teams are built to beat teams in their division.
Yep.
So, the way the NFL sets these every year up, like I'm watching right now, the Cowboys are beating the Washington Commanders. And, of course, looks like the Eagles might be coming here next week.
Yep.
So, last week, a very good Saints team that's had some down on the luck, times this year, brought us down off a 4-game winning streak and brought us back to earth. And then Carolina, nothing else to play for but to try to ruin our party. They gave us a good game today. I don't think it's an indication of where we are. I think that a few breaks. We got an Eagles team coming in here limping with a new DC and haven't
Big
figured it
time
out
limping.
yet.
I mean, they didn't even show up today. It's 24-0. I mean, what are we talking about here, Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, you've been playing like absolute lately after a 10-1 start. I mean, I feel good about this. Maybe, again, I'm an eternal optimist. Had too much coffee this morning. I've been a Bucs fan and covered this team for a long time. Been a Bucs fan since 1988. I always feel good anytime I'm able to get up in the morning and talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I tell you right now, you got to feel good about this matchup with the way the Eagles have played lately. And then on top of it, we've seen this team offensively, defensively, special teams play in conjunction with each other. My concern is, Baker Mayfield doesn't necessarily look 100%. Is that what you saw today?
Not only that, I saw a guy he's a gamer. He's going to give you everything he's got. I haven't seen a $35, $40 million a year franchise quarterback yet. I'm not saying he's not the guy. I think Jason Light's got, options there at the end of this season, depending on where and when where it goes to. But I'll tell you what, if we'd have had an offense back when we played the Eagles earlier this season, it would have been even closer than it really was. And they didn't get off until the third quarter.
Yeah.
You give us this offense, like I said, the division. That's why I opened it with the divisional teams are made to beat each other. We've been the biggest swing in the division for the last 3 years. It's our third consecutive. And speaking on that, Pete, I'll be honest. I was like, how are we going to limp into this thing? I didn't want to be 8-9 winning the division like last season.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, regardless of how we got there, with a 9-0 win over a tough Carolina Panthers team today, who were playing hard, still to see this team for the first time in its history win its third consecutive division title, That's a thing. That's a great thing. And that's something to hang your hats on. And let's get ready for playoff football because we're coming. It's coming strong.
Yeah, it's coming strong. And again, they have to improve. And, speaking of strong football, Antoine Winfield Jr., to me, making 2 big plays. In fact, the play of the game. I mean, just talk about this young man, 25 years old, definitely going to earn a contract extension. We talked about not earning a Pro Bowl. I feel like he should be in the conversation as Defensive Player of the Year. How do you see Winfield Jr.?
Little Tweez, right? Because his father was big to Tweez. I was Winfield Sr. Little Tweez is Winfield Jr. And 100%. I haven't seen, and you look at the numbers today with the 5 sacks and the 6 pickoffs and the 100. The numbers he have.
Ridiculous. He's just surpassed John Lynch. Do you realize this?
Rondé Barber-like.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
literally.
Yes. He's surpassing John Lynch in tackles for a defensive back in a Bucs season. He's playing like Rondé Barber. So let me get this straight. It's the best of both worlds. You got a hard hitter like John Lynch, which, by the way, you can't really hit like you used to if you're John Lynch. You can't knock your brother-in-law out, but
John Allred, no.
Right. But you got the combination of John Lynch and Rondé Barber. That's pretty freaking good. By the way, Jason Light drafted him in the 2nd round. Just saying.
Brother, and talk about 100% in that conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. And the minute that they said that he didn't make the Pro Bowl, I said, well, who made it in his position?
Yeah.
It had to be a team that was doing terrible. Budda Baker is a player, but from the Arizona Cardinals, not a surprise. They didn't have a whole lot of sizzle this season with Watt's retirement and everything else. But this is like we go with the baseball and we go with the thing. The reason why the Pro Bowl has turned into a flag football beach volleyball event is because of the fact that, the right players aren't always being selected, because Antoine Winfield 100% should be your starter for your NFC Pro Bowl squad, whatever that means these days.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's not. But I'll tell you what, Peter, so many things going right for this team. McLaughlin, one of the best, if not the best kickers in the league.
I mean, you are a lover of the leg there in Ryan Suckup, but the new leg, my friend in town, is Chase McLaughlin. I know you want to talk about kickers on this show, so talk about him. 57-yard field goal, 3 field goals. I mean, the guy's been money not only when it comes to 30 or 40 yards, but when it comes beyond 50 yards, McLaughlin has been the guy, and that's the reason why Jason Light and crew have made this change in the first place, right?
Yeah, and talking about Bucs fans, we go back and we hang our hats on players like Paul Gruber, who brought his lunchbox to work every day but never had the postseason success. We go back and hang our hats on so many studs that we had over the years, but they were never able to put it together. Then you talk about a 2023 Buccaneer squad, wins the division for the 3rd consecutive year, but you got a kicker like Chase McLaughlin. You got a guy like Cody Mock, who's just downfield rating rows today.
Yeah.
You got a nucleus in a team here, which is crazy as it seems. Jason Light, as they take that big Tom Brady bite of that cap this year, he's going to have options going into 2025, and especially if the rest of the division is firing coaches. By the way, Peter, what did you think about what happened between Arthur Smith and Dennis Allen today? What are your thoughts on that, the way that went down?
I didn't hear anything about it, but I know that Arthur Smith lost pretty badly there. What transpired at the end of the game there?
Well, basically, the Saints were up 34-14. The game was never in question beyond a 2nd quarter, but they wanted to get Jamal Williams a touchdown as a Saint. And so Ruiz, the lineman who they drafted in the 1st round a couple of years back, they said, look, the coach sent in a kill the clock play, and the offensive line decided they were going to take it upon themselves to get their running back a touchdown. And after the game, Arthur Smith met Dennis Allen at midfield, and there was some heated exchange. And even Dennis Allen, after the fact, said, that's not who we are as a team, the Saints. And, we see it all the time happening, but I don't know if Arthur Smith is fired. I don't know if Dennis Allen did enough to save his job today. I'm not even sure who the coach in Carolina is going to be. But the one thing the Bucs have going for them as they win their 3rd consecutive division is consistency. And consistency may be enough to win their 4th and 5th consecutive division titles as this offense continues to find itself with a team that Jason Light continues to put together that's pretty darn good.
And that's why I continue to say that I don't believe Baker Mayfield, even with all the money in China, if you want to, or all the money you could give him, would change teams, would go to a situation, say like the Raiders. So the Raiders want him because they want to overpay. Well, the reason why they're overpaying is because they're just not that good. And then furthermore, why would you want to uproot your family, which, he's got a baby coming, of course, and I think his fiance or his wife, not sure about that. I think is his wife or fiance. Got to be his wife.
She's pregnant. Yeah, they're expecting.
Okay. Right. I don't think she wants to uproot at this point. I think he's happy with this situation. And then furthermore, you look at Baker's career, and it's almost like, being a Bucs fan, if you will. Constantly firing coaches. Baker's had to go through that. Constantly changing offensive systems. Constantly changing defensive systems. You got to have that consistency, and Baker hasn't had that in his career. The Bucs, furthermore, haven't had that in their career, because when they've had that, they've been able to put together some winning seasons, and now they have that. So why would you want to dismiss that? I get it. Baker is inconsistent sometimes, and it drives you crazy with the accuracy, but first year in the offense, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's gritty. He leads this team even through an injury situation in the last couple games. I say you got to give him an extension. I think Todd Bowles has definitely earned another year. And I'm curious to see now, with the cap turning over next year, how much better it's going to be than this year. And having faith in Jason Light, getting those deals done with Levante David and Mike Evans, this team will be that much better off, because they are consistent and they're going to keep everybody in place instead of changing all the time. There's no reason to change. You want to change, you want to upgrade the offensive line, upgrade possibly a third wide receiver, upgrade a defensive back, upgrade the safety on the other side of Antoine Winfield Jr. if you want to go in that direction.
Did Joe Tryon-Shoyinka have a strip sack today?
He did. He showed up, and Alexander is looking out the window right now thinking, I don't know what the heck happened there. Alexander, get out of that window right now, as my dog, I think, is trying to tell me that he is tired of me talking, as he'll get in the camera right there. But, buddy, we're going to talk as long as Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy and everybody else wants to talk. So you're going to have to sit there with the TSW blocking you right now, which is funny. Let me go ahead and try to get this. Look at this. Look at this. He's just sitting there. Look at this. Look at that. Look at his eyes. Look at that.
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. He's a good guy. So I'm going to go ahead and block him off. He is a dog. He absolutely is a dog. And speaking of dogs, in this game, I got to tell you, man, look at this defense. Yaya Diaby, 7.5 sacks, leading the team as a rookie. Yeah, he could be defensive rookie of the year with, what he's done. And I don't even think he's the best defensive rookie on this team. I think that's Kalijah Cansey. But both of those building blocks, going back to Diaby, how important has he been for this defensive line?
Huge, because not only last season we had Shaq was out and the injuries and the lack of leadership along, but you talk about Jason Light continues to know where it's built up front on the offense and defensive lines. Then you go and you get two dogs that played together at Pitt, and they're playing together in the NFL now. And then let's go back to the Baker Mayfield thing. You're wondering what's Baker going to ask for as a starting quarterback in 2024, and we always wondered before the season started, what's Mike Evans going to be asking? Let's even go farther and say, what's Devin White going to be asking for? The truth of the matter is, these guys are going to get paid, but Florida's an income tax-free state, so the money's always going to be a little better. But you're talking about a team now where a Baker wants to play with an Evans, a Mike wants to play with a Baker, a Devin wants to be part of a good team that's having success. So it does give Jason Light as a general manager a lot more leeway to make these negotiations possible. And then, of course, at the end of the day, he continues to – the cupboard's not bare, continues to put talent in other positions, which also gives him leverage in these negotiations. So I think as a Buccaneers fan, regardless of where we continue to go in 2024, which I don't think the season's close to over yet, also optimism for the future.
Absolutely. Great stuff, Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy here on The Evolution. Any final thoughts here, as it's going to be Bucs versus the Eagles? We don't know what the time is, but we'll get you updated. In fact, I'm kind of trying to stay on here, but I think it's going to be announced later. We'll see, because we still got people watching. We still got callers.
Yes.
But go ahead and give me some final thoughts here on the Sports Web.
My final thoughts is talk to JP, get me credentialed this week for the playoff game so we can really lock it down, bro. Because you and me, come on, talk to him, man. No, I'm saying I look forward to this week. I look forward to Buccaneer home games, because that means you're locking it down over the stadium and you're locking it down wherever you are. But, brother, get me into the party too, and we'll bring it large and in charge. But my final thoughts, brother, are just it's been a great season of back and forth. There's Jason. Hey, Todd Bowles, with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he doesn't use the timeouts. It drives me crazy. Then with 17 seconds left, he calls a timeout, leaves time on the clock, which I thought would have almost went back to the Panthers. I don't know if Todd Bowles is ever going to get the clock management thing down. But as far as a leader of men, and especially as a defensive coordinator, he's shown he's got his ilk. He's shown what he's made of, and I think he's at least earned another year, if not a couple of more, in an inconsistent NFC South. Let the Buccaneers be the team that stays consistent, and let's put a few more divisional titles together so we can have a bunch of flags hanging around Raymond James Stadium, brother.
Agree. Good stuff, Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy, you brought it as always. Thanks a lot for the call, and we'll see you soon here on the Evolution on Wednesday night. All right.
Thanks, brother. Talk to you later.
All right, good stuff. All right, it's open phone lines. Let's see if we can hit the 3-hour sports talk show without commercials, commercial-free. Guys, I like to work on that, so there's advertisers out there saying that there's not people watching this. Tune in to the Evolution here Monday, Wednesday, and, of course, before and after Bucs games. I like to work on getting some of that money put back into the show. But 3 hours, commercial-free here. Bucs fans, comments, text messages, reaction. I know you're excited about it. Alexander is excited about it. So we're going to read the rest of these comments, and hopefully my dog will stop going into that window right there, because there is nothing in that window that you should be looking at and barking at. What you should be looking at right now is yours truly doing a sports talk show here, as we'll get him out here in just a little bit. But let's continue to read some of these comments. As always, good stuff there. I think we read that. Absolutely. Last game in Tampa, in my opinion, I think you're talking about Evans. I'll say this: the play where Baker threw it out of bounds right before we settled for a field goal, Trask would have hit Palmer for a touchdown. Palmer's a 5-yard lead on the defender, wide open in the end zone. Baker too short and couldn't see him. I don't know that. Like, you assume that. You assume that because of his size, but you don't know that because he has not started, Jeff. And I understand where you're coming from when it comes to size of a quarterback. And I get that you're a Trask fan, but they have told you everything you need to know. Even with a less than 100% Baker Mayfield, they were more confident in going with him today than a Kyle Trask. I think it's indicative of where they're at this point. I don't know what you have or why you have it. Stand by for a moment. Oh, you got to love it. You got to love producing your own show and having your dog run around like a crazy man. Baker tried to ruin everything. Definitely had some passes today that could have been intercepted. Winfield should have been a Pro Bowler. Agree with that, Michael. Bro, he's bruised ribs. What do you not understand? Trask is trash. It's a reason why he ain't playing. Come on, bro. I don't know what Baker did to you personally. Buy your takes. Ain't it. Anthony says Mika Fitzpatrick is the best safety in the NFL. He actually plays in a competitive division. Of course, you would say something along those lines. Happy to get the win, be in the playoffs again. Ugly, but like you said, after being a Bucs fan and not being competitive for years, it's refreshing to be relevant again. Albeit in a bad division, I definitely hear you on all the limitations with cap space, new quarterback, OC, etc. My problem is the team has still a lot of talented players, and Bulls inherited a stacked team. It's not been convincing these past 2 years. If we get blown out in the first round again, I feel our ceiling with Bulls. I think, and I'm trying to read this comment from Jeff Moody. My problem is the team has a lot of talented players, and Bulls inherited a stacked team. It's not been convincing these past 2 years. If we get blown out in the first round, I feel our ceiling with Bulls is mediocrity or slightly above. Anyway, as always, go Bucs. Good comment. I get it. I understand that. Again, if Baker can't make the plays when we need him, then he needs to be taken out of the game. I don't know who you're watching, but Trask clearly beat Baker in training camp. You don't. How? How did he beat him in training camp, Jeff? You weren't there. The team decided to go with Baker Mayfield. I don't understand this, Jeff. You continue to say that clearly Trask beat him in training camp. He didn't. The only reason Baker got the start is because everyone sees him Grady with the chip on his shoulder, but that doesn't make up his vast inconsistency. You can't say Trask is trash. He's better than Baker in training camp, and you haven't seen him get any real playing time in the game because he wasn't able to beat Baker Mayfield out in training camp like you thought that he won. What are you basing that on? Baker is your starter because he has the experience with coming into the season. That's the reason why Baker also is starting at the quarterback situation. What's nice is the Saints are not winners of the South. Agree. Dawson, yo, bro, nice win today. Wasn't pretty, but still a win. In today's NFL, you have to be able to throw the ball down the field, and Bowles is a fool for trying to force this run-heavy offense when the team is clearly not built to run-heavy offense. Well, they're going to run the ball. They're going to be balanced, Jeff, and on top of it, they took some shots down the field, and they didn't necessarily complete them. They're not going to stop taking shots down the field. They just have to hit those. It would have been very different if you hit those shots. Anthony, Fields is a good running back. You know I'm right. I wouldn't trade a bag of practice balls for any Bears garbage. Jeff says we should offer multiple draft picks, Baker and Bowles. Not happening, Jeff. Jared, laugh my ass off. Now that's funny. Watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web on Amped Up Sports, 1252. We did win the NFC South. Way to go, Bucs! Let's go! Mom right there. Thomas says the Bears last one, 1986. Bring back Ditka. Jared laughing. Anthony Richardson. Rick Hughes blocked me. They can't take the jokes. Jeff, I want to be not slapping my forehead all game. I'm sorry, but sometimes it's not going to necessarily be the prettiest result that you want, but a win is a win. Would you rather them score lots of points and lose the game? Is that what you want? Again, this is what I go back. This is kind of like my frustration with Bucs fans. Like, I get it. It's not always pretty, and Todd Bowles is not the greatest coach, and he's conservative in a way, and there's still clock management, but they found a way to win today. At a crucial time, they found a way to win versus the Atlanta Falcons with Baker having his worst game. But what is he able to do? Overcome it. In the last drive, you find a way to win versus the Green Bay Packers when your backs are against the wall. And you have the Devin White drama. And you have the injuries that you deal with this season. And you have Mike Evans in the contract situation. And possibly Todd Bowles being on the hot seat because your team is 4-7. Let's take these things into account. And we are at 3 hours officially. Usually when the quarterback plays bad, you should lose. At some point, you ungrateful fans need to respect the coach. We're in the playoffs for Bowles' entire tenure every year. Exactly. Thank you, Tristan. Good comment. Defense and field goals, FTW, yay. See, I can be happy. Good. I'm glad you're happy. Everything is not going to be pretty all the time. Everything's not going to be a blowout. Would you like to be the Philadelphia Eagles right now? How would you like to be the Philadelphia Eagles? You want to be the Philadelphia Eagles? How is losing 24-0 against the Giants? How is starting off 10-1 and right now being a team that is struggling mightily to win a game feel to you? Do you want to be that? Let's go out to James. Great job by the defense today. Thank God. Absolutely read that comment before. Peter, I think Bowles is insisting that Canales run heavy. Bowles even said at the halftime that we got to quit trying to throw the ball down the field. I heard the same thing. I was like, I don't know about that. You got to still take your shots down the field, but you also have to be balanced. And that's what I also think, the play calling is not always on Dave Canales, that Todd Bowles also is insisting, as you say, on running the ball. And I don't understand the play call there right before the half. When you got no time on the clock and you're running the ball and you get a 7-yard loss, you're lucky that Chase McLaughlin is able to kick the field goal there. Palmer actually had a 5-year lead. Okay, we read that. Ralph, Harry, do you think Matt Eberflus gets fired on Monday? No. Maybe in the playoffs they will play much better. I'm looking at a team in NFC South. They win. Sador, 14-3 Packers. Ban him. Ralph says, thank you. I'm feeling great, Jeff. It's because Baker's too short to see over the offensive line. He needs some platform cleats, or he needs his offensive line to block better to give him the time so he doesn't have pressure in his face. You have a 6'7" quarterback all you want to, but if you got pressure in their face, they're not going to be able to be successful either, my friend. They're not. Let's see here. Mesador, I'm playing Harry Berg. Ralph, teams like Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh could be dangerous teams in the playoffs. Jeff, maybe if we can start throwing the ball, the run game ain't taking us very far. Again, 19 carries, 75 yards for White. Dallas holds tiebreaker. They do. Mesador, both Eagles and boys lose. Boys win the East. Jeff says, I'm seriously not trying to troll, but look at the games from our winning streak, even past run offense, maybe throwing the ball down the field, opening the field up, help the run game. Then all of a sudden we go back to run heavy. We lose offense. I agree with you on that. You've got to come out, especially on the earlier downs, get Baker confidence to throw the ball. Agree with you on that. And again, I don't necessarily think that Baker is healthy. I don't think he was healthy for the full game. Anthony, no, I've been a loyal fan. I watch Peter's show when everybody else is sleeping. Michael says, sorry, Harry, Green Bay is going to win. Aints out. Beep, beep. Absolutely. Jim says, let's go Buccaneers. Shooter, let's go Bucks. F, the naysayers. Love it. Jeff, I want to give it to you. Baker is great. He plays hard. I'm proud of him for showing what he's really got, but please don't tell me he's played great all season. Please don't tell me he's awesome, because that's simply not true. 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's definitely been a key component to this offense, and the struggles they had last year, they have gotten better. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm certainly not going to sit here and tell you that he's a top 5 corner, but to discount what he's done this year, not say he's at least a top 15 or top 10, and then it's always not what the numbers say, it's what the locker room says. This team is behind him. I get it. He has his fair share of struggles, but he's helped this team win some games this year. Did you forget Atlanta? Did you forget that last drive? Did you forget the last 2 drives there? Go Bucks. Absolutely. Go Bucks. Oh, yeah. Let's go out to Tulio. It's funny, while the Bucks, with the Bucks, we can't even enjoy a South title without having a bad taste in our mouths. Jeff, again, I do think Baker would be much better if we could play to his strengths. And for maybe 6 of the games this season we did, and Baker looked good. The rest of the games we had him doing things he just isn't built for. I think it's Bowles' fault, not Canales. I truly believe Bowles is influencing, forcing Canales to play way too conservative. Run heavy when we had Baker rolling out, playing the flats, play action stuff. Our offense was looking good. It's a good point. You're very analytical guy. I'm going to give you that. You know what you're talking about. You got some good points here. Right? Don't let your hatred, get in between, your intelligence, because you definitely know what you're talking about when it comes to, some of this stuff that the Bucs were successful with. I feel like you kind of hate Baker and you want to see more Trask, and what the organization has kind of told you is that they believe in Baker. So the Bears, I miss our old division. Bucs versus Bears, always a showdown. Can't forget the Battle of the Bays. Good stuff, Jeff. Appreciate it. As LFG. Let's go! Angie, put the Bojangles down. Good stuff, Angie. Thank you very much. Victory Monday it is.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Jim there fired the cannons. I think Jeff says, I'm sitting over here, pup pass, homie. Megan with the hearts, thank you very much. Mia, playoffs and elite level. Jeff, I want to see AWJ come flying over the line of scrimmage and put an end to the tush push. That is a great comment. Ooh, yeah. I would love to see that. Facts. Let's go out to Mike D. Roche all the way from Canada. I'm not happy with this win. I want to be. If we get like this, we're going to get beaten in the playoffs. If we play like this, okay. Shooter says Bucks have been trending up since December. Eagles and Cowboys have been trending down. Exactly. Right there. Good comment. Let's go out to Jeff. It's because Goodell hates the Bucks. Vito says, happy with, again, Vito, I know you're not the biggest fan of Baker Mayfield, but 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, not bad, my friend. Let's go out to Sonia. I'm the founder of the Carolina Pantherettes. I talk about this on my podcast with Northeast Streaming Sports Productions, your personal sports network of all things football from a lady's perspective. We will have to have you on the Evolution, Sonia. Always welcome here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Lillian says, roll down the window, Ream, Rich, Tampa, MFA. Love it. Let's go out to Jeff here. Did you say Jason Line on line 1 and leaving him hanging? Jason Line on line 1, line 2, and line 3 for Antoine Winfield Jr. to be re-signed, please. And thank you, says Elaine. We're waiting on you to order. Jeff says we need to take care of MK13 Mike Evans. Of course, I agree with you. Bye-bye, Evans. Vito, not ready to say that. Bucs struggled against my subpar Panthers. Agree on that. They did. Evans does not look like playing. Evans does not like playing with a quarterback. Well, I don't necessarily think he's the quarterback that you said he was. Again, top 15, and he's won some games this year. And Mike Evans, I haven't heard, just from you, I haven't heard Mike Evans or this receiving core say they're unhappy with playing with Baker Mayfield. Okay? I think that's just you. Hey, Peter, I have a favor to ask you. If you got a chance to interview Mike Evans, would you ask him if he planned the merger of his number 13, his name, to become MK13? If I get a chance to interview him, I will ask him. Have you all seen the picture of Bucs Stadium set inside a pirate ship out in the bay? That would be awesome. Christopher Cole, like I said, gritty, not pretty. I love that comment. And there definitely needs to be a motto out there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In fact, I think it's that time again.
Buccaneers, go Bucs!
Yeah, there we go. All right, Grady, not pretty. Love it. AWJ, been a hero ever since he trolled with Deuces in the Super Bowl. Love it, Jeff. Thanks a lot for all the comments. It's not Canales, it's Bowles. He's forcing Canales to play the stupid smash mouth football style. Vito, nothing to brag about, clinching playoffs, barely beat worst team in the league. Vito, okay, you're not a Bucs fan, so it is something to brag about, clinching a division. What should we brag about? You beat a team 60-0 or 9-0 or 3-0. It's still a win. A win is a win. Vito, stop trolling. Stop trolling.
This guy sucks.
Stop trolling.
Sure.
Stop trolling. Come on, Vito. You're better than that, man. You know how important it is to win a division. You know how important it is to get to the playoffs. Playoffs. Brady is not the greatest. Rest may Brady. Okay, I'm not going to even go with you on that because that's not even a debate at this point. Can we not go with that? To be fair, Panthers are actually a pretty tough team. They barely lost a lot of their games, have put a good amount of points. I'm pretty sure they threw the season on purpose. They're just not a good team right now, and they couldn't find a way to win. And they had opportunities to make plays in this game as bad as they are. That is the difference. The Bucs made the plays. They found a way to win. That's the reason why they're in the win column with 9 wins. Couldn't tell which team had a rookie quarterback today. Well, that quarterback that's on the sideline there had bruised ribs. That quarterback is dealing with an ankle injury. Okay? So that may be the reason why he struggled so much. It may not be the reason that he sucks like you think every quarterback that Tampa has, besides Kyle Trask, who hasn't had a freaking start in the National Football League. Your boy Patrick Mahomes ain't doing shit, excuse my language, this year without wide receivers. But you're very quiet about that. You're very quiet, Vito. I couldn't tell if Patrick Mahomes was a top quarterback in this league because, oh, by the way, Baker Mayfield, his numbers are comparable to Patrick Mahomes, including the turnover situation, which Baker is better at than Patrick Mahomes. So enough of your nonsense. And, oh, by the way, I like to mention this. Being a representative broadcaster of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, covering the team. Didn't the Bucs beat your team 31-9? I mean, the only touchdown you had was going to TPA. When that plain touchdown, Patrick Mahomes, your offense did absolutely squat versus that Bucs defense. Just like to remind you, just saying. Giants winning 24-0 in the second quarter. We updated that. Not only that, but defender holding Palmer's arm all the way down the field. So it looks like Baker overthrew him. Palmer could easily outrun the guy. Couldn't outrun the guy because his arm is being held. It should have been called interference in the first place. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Baker had the best day. He didn't. But they're, to sit here and also say that he wasn't affected by the rib injury or the ankle injury or something along those lines, that he wasn't beat up, is naive. You guys are being unrealistic about this. I got a guy that thinks Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time, and he hasn't done squat this year and did squat versus the Bucs in Super Bowl 55. But we'll sit here on this program and say how Baker sucks, and yet Baker has better numbers than Patrick Mahomes this year. Explain that to me, please. Call the phone line. You know it, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Please, Vito corny. Because your takes are kind of corny, my friend. They're kind of corny. All right. Bring in Trask. Yeah, bring in a guy who hasn't had a start in the National Football League. Bring in Trask because you're probably a Gator fan. That's what it comes down to. Bring in a guy who's never started a freaking game in his life in the biggest game of the year. God, thank God that some of you guys are not general managers or coaches, because you'd be fired tomorrow on Black Monday. And there'll be plenty of coaches that will be fired tomorrow. All right. Year of backups. Mike, Trask is the second coming to Ryan Griffin. He will never get an NFL start. That's because of crappy coaching Bucs have. Put a real coach on the Bucs. Trask starts, Baker sits. No, he doesn't. How do you know that? How do you know that? This team decided to go with Tom Brady over Kyle Trask. This team decided to go with Blaine Gabbert as the backup over Kyle Trask. This team decided to go with Baker Mayfield over Kyle Trask in the offseason. This team decided to go with a less injured Baker Mayfield over your boy Kyle Trask. You want to continue with this? Oh, by the way, once again, let me mention this. That crappy coaching that you talk about, they're the ones that knocked out Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. So smoke that. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Damn, Vito. The excuse they gave me for not putting in backup, they referred to last year resting starters at the end of the season. They lost the steam, and we played like in the playoff game. Well, you won't have to worry about that. Love it, Big. Ben, Giants beating the Eagles at the moment. Michael, Pete, I appreciate the shout out. The Sports Web has made my love for the Bucs more and more every year. I've called in at some point. I will call in at some point. You should call in, Michael. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Jeff, I don't think it has anything to do with not having confidence in Trask. Read my previous comment. It does have something to do with not having confidence in Trask. They don't have confidence in Trask because if they did, they would have gone with him today. That's what it's telling you. What is so hard about this? He beat out Baker in training camp. How do you know he beat out Baker in training camp? I'm confused here. I'm confused. You have to explain this to me, like I said the other night, like a 6-year-old. Like, how did he, like, the coaching staff doesn't know what's going on here? Like, they started a guy that has more starts than Kyle Trask. I don't know the love affair. I don't understand it. You guys must be Gator fans. 24-0, Jeff. Bulls literally said we're not going to make that mistake again. Bucs never get any love besides our fans. Christopher Cole, Eagles lose Brown. Whoa. Eagles lose A.J. Brown. Wow. A.J. Brown is hurt. Jeff, Bulls is too stubborn, didn't adapt well at all. He sticks to his game plan until we're down by 20 points with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Jeff, again, I don't think we'll get steamrolled. Our defense won't let that happen, but I could definitely see us getting less than 10 points and losing. Ben, listening from California, let's go. Let's go! Christopher Cole, we ain't getting steamrolled. Megan, I agree. Freeman and Winston years hurt my heart. Thank you, Megan. Let the truth set you free, Megan. As all Bucs fans know, some of you guys are just wet behind the ears, which is okay. I understand that. But go back to those years. You remember those years? You want to relive those years? You want to get on this program and talk about Jameis Winston throwing 2 or 3 interceptions a game? You want to go on a 3-hour broadcast where the Bucs lose, but they score more than 20 points, so they did it in pretty fashion? You want to go those years? How about Josh Freeman? Level of inconsistency. 1 good year with 10 wins. After that, nothing. The hungry team there, Raheem Morris being caught with Josh Freeman being out partying. You want that? You want to see those losing years come back? You want to start out 4-2, end the year at 4-12? You want to go there? How about Greg Schiano? You like that? 0-8? I mean, those are the type of years I'm talking about with Bucs fans. They're there. You want to go back to those? Or you want to be happy with an NFC South championship? I think I'll be happy with the NFC South championship 3 in a row. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. 0391. It's 727-255-0391. Christopher Cole, we ain't getting steamrolled. Good stuff there. Love it. Bulls not adjust well at all. What are you talking about? Born and raised in Tampa, the Buccaneer buddy. Jeff, appreciate it. Done in Alstad, WD-40 motto came from my mom at the game with a sign I helped her make. Awesome. Great story. Saints ran up the score, and the Falcons coach had some choice words for Dennis Allen during the game handshake. Jeff, I don't like referring to last year. Last year was one off. Brady was off his game. Brady was not good. The offensive line was not good. That's the reason why they made the changes. And I understand why people don't talk about it, respecting Brady in his personal life, but he was way off his game. I don't care who you are. When you're a family man, you go through a divorce, splitting up your family, it affects you 100% of the time, even at work and and nothing can take your mind off it. So, yeah, I don't think Brady really aged out. I think his personal life affected it, but I also think he aged out. He wasn't good. He didn't want to get hit. He doesn't have the mobility that Baker Mayfield had this year. That was a big-time component of why this team is winning and converting those big-time third downs, which showed up today. Go ahead and dance, Peter. Shake your tail feather. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. It's not about being confident and Trask. It's Bulls being stubborn. And I think it's also about the fact of who are you going to go with? Are you going to go with the guy that doesn't have a start in the National Football League? What does he have? 11 starts, 11 snaps. All right, let's go out to the comments or go out to the phone lines here. Welcome back to the Evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Peter, AJ, my second phone call from West Palm. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, AJ? We're past 3 hours here, my friend. Get your second call in here. You hear my passion right now. I think I'm on a second or third win with all this nonsense of how Baker is a terrible quarterback and go with Trask. Make some sense of this, my friend.
Listen, here's what I think of it, right? Bear with me for a little bit. I got twin girls, right? So they're 17 going on 40, right? Here's the thing. One of them, they always get attention and the other one doesn't. One's an introvert. So the introvert will always get in trouble in school and middle school. I would wonder what was going on. So she would always be getting in trouble talking to the teachers and things like that because one's an extrovert, one's an introvert. The introvert wouldn't be getting any attention like the extrovert was. So she got attention by being bad. She got attention by saying the wrong things. And so she took that attention and she manifested into getting more attention. So when you have all these people from the games and they're drunk and they haven't had any attention from their regular lives, guess what they do? They make negative comments and things like that to get attention because they have a troubled childhood. That's my take on all this craziness right now.
Well, it's craziness. And again, I know there's Gator fans out there and they look at a guy that's 6'4", 6'5", and they say, we want to start him.
Arm.
But the organization has told you. Now, is there an opportunity for him to start somewhere else or maybe for this team in the future? I don't think so. But I guess anything is possible. I just, I love Jeff here. He's great with his comments and everything like that. But saying that Trask beat Baker out in training, what? No, the coaching staff told you that Baker won out in training camp. He's won out everywhere.
He couldn't even beat Blaine Gabbert for the backup role last year.
Thank you.
2 years ago.
Let's stop with the nonsense. Let's point out the facts. The facts of the matter are, if this was your franchise quarterback that you wanted to go with in the future, then you would have no business bringing back Tom Brady. And don't give me it's Tom Brady. No, if this is your future quarterback, if he's the next Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Brock Purdy, you go with him in the first place, and they haven't. They have not done it, and they have every opportunity. Even in trash time, when Baker has no business being in the game, they don't put Trask in. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I'll give you a point example. Washington, the Commanders, they went with Sam Howell because they believed that guy was the guy to do what they needed to do. And yet, even now you can go here back and forth with that. They still didn't bring in somebody to compete with Sam Howell. The Buccaneers could do the same thing with Trask, if they really wanted to. Listen, there's reports that he's not the smartest guy. He doesn't get the offense. He doesn't pick up the offense really quickly. And then he's not a leader in the camp leader. or leader of men that the Buccaneers wanted. His arm strength was less to be desired, and he just didn't have the starts. And that's just it. That's just the proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
So, also, no. Also, too. So, I want to comment on Bowles. He's getting a lot of flack right now.
Sure.
Listen, Bowles went from 4-7 and being on the hot seat to steadily guiding and improving and making sure he did what he needed to do to get to 9-8. Now, could they have won a couple more games? Sure, but this is the NFL. The NFL is won by 4 points or less. It's more like how many games will win on the last 2 minutes of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we could have had more wins, but at the same time, we could have had more losses too as well because Baker saved us. Baker is who he is. And we're looking for this franchise, whatever quarterback for the next 10 years. Will Baker be the person? I don't know. But let me go from the next 2 to 3 years. I like my chances with Baker. You surround him with a great line and a great support staff. I like my chances with Baker Mayfield than any new guy coming in, and you just don't know what you're getting. The draft is guess what? It is a crapshoot.
Crapshoot.
You never know.
You don't
You
know.
never know.
And you look at the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when it comes to developing young quarterbacks. It ain't great, my friend. It ain't pretty. And they usually do a lot better with veteran quarterbacks. We'll see how this all plays out, but it certainly looks like right now, just to update the score, because I want to give you an update here. Cowboys 35-10 over the Commanders. So it looks like they're going to, it doesn't look like it, they're going to win the NFC East. And the Eagles, once again, finally got on the board here. But the Giants 27-10. And apparently it looks like they have lost A.J. Brown to an injury, which would be detrimental to that offense, which has already struggled today in the last couple of weeks here. So for me, I think you got to feel pretty good about the Bucs' chances against the Eagles at Raymond James Stadium.
I feel that you have a shooter's chance, or just stepping inside. When you step inside the green lines of the field, anyone has a chance to do anything, regardless of AJ Brown's there or not. I like our chances. Not saying we're going to win, but I like our chances. And also Super Bowl, who are we winning with? We won it with a free agent, Brad Johnson. Second Super Bowl, who we winning with? A free agent, Tom Brady. Listen, I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield is Tom Brady, but I think he's a little bit better than Brad Johnson. If it's not broken, don't fix it. I know the Glazers wanted to be enamored with the Jacksonville quarterback and things like that. They still want the enamorment of the quarterback, but I think they kind of gotten over that fact of wanting the new shiny toy, and they're appreciative of just winning and keeping it going. I think the Glazers have really matured from 10 to 15 years ago and owning this franchise.
AJ, right? Is it AJ?
AJ, yes.
AJ, don't be a stranger on the Evolution. 2 great calls as always, my friend. Definitely keep on tuning in to the Evolution. We'll see you on Wednesday night, all right? Go Bucs, my friend.
Go Bucs.
All right, good stuff there from him. I'm also gonna give him the Ric Flair right there. So there we go. We got a feedback there. Hold on, let me hang up there. All right, there we go. Good stuff. Open phone lines. Over 3 hours. I think I'm about to get off here. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's see. Read the comments. It's not about being confident in Trask. It's a Bulls being stubborn. We all know Gabbert versus Trask was never a thing. Trask's job was sit and learn from Brady after he was drafted, and yet he wasn't able to overtake Gabbert ever, and even overtake Brady ever. Christine Bishop says hello. What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Jeff says hi. I guess he's saying hi to her. Go Buccaneers. Absolutely. Go Buccaneers. The Cowboys. Yes. Star Shear says hello. Peter H. Blake. I want us to face Eagles too. We need to smoke them. I like that, Star. Mike Hughes says bear down. Great stuff there with the Chicago Bears and Cubs and Bulls. If you're a Chicago fan, you'll love that guy. Definitely go and follow him on TikTok. I think it's like over 10,000 followers there. So good stuff, Mike. Appreciate you as always. Baker did not protect the ball. He got lucky. He wasn't intercepted multiple times, but he wasn't intercepted multiple times. And the Bucs pull it out. The Eagles suck. Jeff, offensive line is not that bad. It's actually decent. Baker just short to see over the offensive lineman. I agree with you. Pass protection, they have not been good lately. And when you get pressure in somebody's face, it's definitely going to affect the fact of batted balls and also, a quarterback trying to make plays. Tampa Bay Buccaneers took care of business today. Jim again. Do we blow out the Panthers? No. Why are we not grateful fans? Still trying to get rid of Todd Bowles. Take your guild ass back down to New England. Jim, again, why? Okay, I read that. Thank you, Jeff. Correction, Bucs defense took care of business. Offense and Bulls were at home playing Madden, smash mouth football, but they still took care of business. They had some plays in this game. I get it. 9 points, not necessarily what you want. Fake Bucs fan there. Jim, get hot, surprise people. That's the real Buccaneer fan. Jim says, let's go Buccaneers. Absolutely, let's go.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go. Just a little for thought for all the people that think that just because I'm not a Baker fan that I must have been Brady nostalgia. You can ask Peter H. Blake himself. I was not a fan of Brady coming to Tampa. I also don't like the comparing anything our teams does to the Brady era. I've been a Bucs fan born and bred through all the years since I was born and raised in Tampa in 81. And you know what, Jeff? I really appreciate the support.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I know you're not the biggest Baker fan, that's okay. It's okay to have some type of opinion on here with me to, disagree with it. Vito's an old friend, but Vito gets on my nerves sometimes. I don't want to take anything away from Baker. He's a true football player. I don't hate him. To his defense, he's been utilized. He hasn't been utilized properly. This coaching staff has not done him justice. The coaching staff has given him more justice than the team has played for before, but that does not make him the guy. There's no reason for Dennis Allen to be apologizing for running up the scoreboard. This is not Pee Wee football. Jeff, again, I could almost get behind Baker if the coaching staff could focus the offense to his strengths, but once again, Bowles is too stubborn. Jim, with the eyes, I thought Alexander was a chihuahua. He is not. Okay, brother. Bye, brother. Good night, brother. Jim, let the dog out to use the restroom. Peter Blake, we will take him out in just a little bit as he's barking in the background, so it's about time Peter does these shows in his underwear. Why are you giving away my secret for? Peter, do you think the past and maybe current relationship will affect maybe a Belichick coaching position? I thought so. I thought there would be some interest with Jason Light and, of course, the Glazers going after the big name, but I think Todd Bowles has earned that contract extension. David, oh my God, people are still talking about Kyle. If he was better than Baker, he would be on the field instead of the sideline holding the tablet and water bottle for Baker for when he comes off the field. Michael, nobody gives a damn about the Philadelphia Eagles. Michael, not true, man. Come to Connecticut. A lot of Eagle fans are arrogant and I can't stand them. Well, it looks like that's going to be, again, it's not, looks like it's going to be your opponent to be determined what night that is or day that is. To me, the only way Todd Bowles keeps his job if he's making the NFC Championship game. That's my opinion. Michael says, Vito, go troll on your boyfriend. Tristan, Bowles already has many playoff appearances as Gruden. Let that sink in. I could be wrong, but people keep saying Kyle looks better than Baker in training camp. Didn't Kyle throw 5 interceptions in one practice? Michael, love Megan's comment. I saw Winston's last throw with the pick 6 in the red zone in overtime. So glad for the year afterwards. Exactly. I remember that game because I was there out at Ferg's trying to calm people down, trying to say, yeah, Jameis, he's the guy, doesn't have the help. Definitely had a turnover problem, and it wasn't a good look. And you kind of knew right when he got the ball with that Bucs offense what was going to happen. You want to go back to that? Christopher Cole, new Bucs fans don't know the dark times of the 80s. Packers just beat the Care Bears. There you go. Packers won. David Moser means Aints are out. So the New Orleans Saints, thank you for coming. Bring your playbook. You are done. Tim says, Trask has a master's degree from UF. I'm sure he can pick up an offense. Baker played fine this year, 28 touchdowns, 10 picks. What's there to bitch about? Bucs fans, they'll find something to bitch about. And we'll be on here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television for you to bitch about it. Jalen Hurts benched at halftime with 55 yards passing. Yikes. Yes, saw you at Ferg's after the game. You do remember that. You do remember, right? Not a good feeling, Bucs fans. But it's a good feeling today. You know why? Because your Tampa Bay Buccaneers clinched their 3rd NFC South division title, defeating the Carolina Panthers 9-0. We'll go through the numbers here really quick. 20 for 32 for Baker Mayfield, 137. No turnovers, no touchdowns. Godwin led the way there with receiving 6 catches for 51 yards. White rushing, Rashad White, 19 for 75. David leading the defense with 9 tackles. Biggest play of the game, it has to be Antoine Winfield Jr. causing that fumble versus DJ Shark, who looks like he's going to go on for a 43-yard touchdown. Instead, 42 yards. Ball pops loose there through the end zone. Jamel Dean picks it up. And instead of a touchdown and the Panthers having the lead at that point, you take the momentum away. And then later on in the game there in the fourth quarter, you get a big-time sack that knocks you out of field goal range. So Antoine Winfield Jr. once again showing why not only he should be a Pro Bowler, but also an All-Pro and also possibly in the conversation as Defensive Player of the Year. Give me an LFG. We will. I got to keep that from Tom Brady. Overall, Bucs are winners. They will face the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't know what time, but we'll keep you updated on this situation. No show tomorrow. That's why I went over 3 hours tonight. No show tomorrow, but tune in on Wednesday. Thanks to all the guests, to all the callers. Of course, Jay Buck, Franco, Victory Monday. And, of course, here at the Greek Professional Handicapper Extraordinaire. Guys, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Like I Love St. Pete, Bucks Life. And, of course, friend me. Follow me. I need 2 followers here to get 40 followers for the month, which would be amazing, or for the week, actually. 40 followers for the week. And we'll be back here soon as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business. How beautiful is that to say? 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Before I say that, Facebook stars are open. Give to the effort. Give a little money if you like the content. YouTube super chats are open. Give to the effort. 3 things. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and, of course, the Tampa Bay sports fan, including Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, as you're in the playoffs, it's your time. Have a great night. It's Victory Sunday night and Victory Monday morning, Victory Monday. Enjoy it, baby. You're in the playoffs. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.